We are live. All right, fellas, it's 21-24 season. Week one is over. I'm here with Grim, Red Zone, and Howie. So, Howie, why don't you tell us about your week one game?
I won against Moontown, 37-7 in a game that I did not see turning out that way. Texas defense showed up big, had a fumble return for a touchdown by my newly signed stud linebacker, and an interception return for a touchdown. And that really kind of I think set the tone for the game. Offense was effective, but I don't think stellar, but they were pretty good. Didn't turn the ball over, so I was happy.
Yeah, Haman, is that his name? He went 20 for 28. Not bad. Touchdown.
Yeah, that's efficient. 71%.
And
Kill to have a guy like that.
Well, and I'm upset. His ratings took a hit in the preseason. He was never stellar to begin with, but I had him topping out at 44.
Yes, I saw that.
And then he dropped a little bit. So I'm really, really weak and thin at quarterback. So game management in Texas, though, right? When you run the ball as much as I do, you don't need to have a stud.
Well, how did your first round pick go, Gardner? 4 tackles, 3 quarter against him. Well, he still hasn't filled out yet, so.
Yeah, he's still young. He'll do fine.
He ended up being the best safety in the draft, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did.
Ratings wise, yeah.
I was
Get Howie.
I was torn between taking him and there was another safety. I can't remember off the top of my head what his name was. Who was also going to looked like a stud safety, who had a little bit better zone defense bar, and a little bit worse man-to-man bar. And I was hemming and hawing between which one I wanted to take, and I opted to go with Gardner because I figure even if his zone bar ended up on the low end of what I saw, which is going to be like mid-70s, so he'll be fine. His man-to-man bar gave me a little bit more options if I wanted to try to play a little bit more cover one or a little more man-to-man.
I have him at 80 reaching for his League Scout has him at 74, so he might even go over 80.
Yeah,
I got him at 78.
Let me see what I have.
The next best guy, Howie, was I think Sean Dennis, and that's who Chris picked up.
Yeah, I think that might have been the guy that I was looking at.
Oh, this one right here.
Yeah, he ended up good. Chris also got a safety in the second round, so he's basically got his back half of the secondary set up for fucking next 10, 12 years.
Yeah, and the safety I took last season, Ricardo LaBelle, is he's not as highly rated as I had initially seen him, but he's going to be solid. His zone defense bar, I've got him topped out at an 84, which is exactly what I need out of a safety. You know, anything kind of that mid to high 70s or above is what I'm looking for. So he's going to be fine.
Well, your defense shut down Moontown 7 points only.
Yeah, they did. They played great, and that was the focus of my draft, or not my draft. Excuse me. That was the focus of my offseason was defense. Defense for me played atrocious last year, and I had some cap money to play with, but there was nobody in free agency on the offensive side of the ball that really tickled my pickle, as it were. So I didn't spend a lot of money. I made one big free agency signing with what's his last name? DeSelig? Is that who the middle linebacker is?
I'll bring him up. Hold on.
Devontae DeSig.
Oh, here he is. Got him.
Yeah.
Not bad. 30 years old, but his bars are great.
Yeah. And, you know, he had a big game in week one, so hopefully that continues.
Well,
offense.
I was going to say, Moontown's offense, his quarterback, you shut him down. He went 19 of 33. He had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. His running game was 6 carries for 11 yards on one, 5 carries for 25 yards on the other, and 4 carries for 5 yards on his third running back.
Yep.
That's kind of surprising since fucking Galuli's a shootout guy.
He throws some picks though too.
Yeah, he dropped in ratings though this year, so
I mean, Boots has even said, he's a hit or miss guy. I mean, he'll have a big game, and that big game might have 2 picks, and then he'll have a bad game. That one might have 3 or 4. He's got to throw some picks. Feast or famine.
Absolutely. So he allowed against Howie 187 yards rushing.
sounds about right. That's Texas style.
That's what he did. The total yardage gain was 390 yards that Howie put on him. So, yeah.
I was happy. I was happy with that.
And you were happy with your picks, yes?
Yeah, I mean, more or less, I was. There were a couple of guys that I thought were going to be a little bit better rated than they ended up being, but nobody took huge hits. I think the biggest disappointment I had was my tackle Amari Kuri. I had him. His pass rush and his pass strength looked a lot better to me than what he ended up. I really needed to get a solid defensive lineman, and I didn't hit on him. But other than that, I'm not too upset about it. I got a cornerback in Blake Hydorn that's going to be a good zone defender and above average on bump and run. Got a punter. I got a solid backup tackle in Sampson. My tight end will be serviceable. I was also hoping that quarterback that I drafted in the 7th round was going to be a Tom Brady, but he's not going to be.
Yeah, I had to cut my Tom Brady this year. That Brad Poole kid I kicked up at 732.
Yep.
Hey, you got to reach for them. You never know.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you really much. Who did Moontown pick up in his first round? He was down. Here we go. He picked up a guard.
I think your Tom Brady's still on the team.
Who? Rivera?
Edgar Rivers. Telling you.
Rivers, yeah. We'll see. He's got some time. He's not going anywhere. I just re-signed him.
Bad to me.
Who's that?
Keeps climbing. Edgar Rivers. He's been sitting on Grimm's team for what?
6 seasons? I think.
4.
Edgar Rivers.
I'm looking at it now. 4. This is his 4th year. Well,
okay.
This is his
5th. This is 5th year, so.
You don't like playing him?
I haven't had the need to.
He keeps going out and signing these free agents. I'd give him a shot.
Yeah, it's just like the one game he came in, he fucking stunk. 6 of 24 for 71 yards last season. That's gross.
Okay.
You got to just throw him out there for a couple of games. You never know what sticks. And
he still has some seasonal rust on him, so he didn't play a lot in the preseason.
No, just the first 2 games, I believe.
So,
42 soul score, 13 bench.
Yeah, he could be something. I'm not out of it yet, but
he's a triple affinity guy. I mean,
if I get to 0-8, he might get a start.
That's what it's going to take.
Probably.
Ooh.
But Stradinsky kind of proved what I thought he was going to be. He's going to be one of those guys that I'm number 1 offense in the league right now, and it's after one game, and I realize it's a fluke. But if this guy does what he does every fucking season or every game like that, I'm going to be all right. It's just I'm going to have to deal with the interceptions.
He's going to throw 30 picks, but he might throw 40 TDs.
Yep.
What'd you give up for him?
3rd round.
Not bad.
3rd round last year, so it was 327.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Well, no, and I approached Slime about him before the season started, and I'm like, hey, I'm probably going to be interested in fucking Charlie. He's like, no, I think I'm going to keep him from now. And then I think he drafted that guy. He drafted that guy in the first.
Slam.
No. He drafted. Who did he get?
He picked up defensive end.
No, he's playing Nick Dillon. Oh no, this is Slam we're talking about. Never mind.
He picked up defensive end in the first round.
Fort Wayne. Now this guy he had last year. He said that he played better last year than the two guys he traded away. So he traded those guys away and went with this guy.
Okay. But yeah, and then he eventually PM'd me and said that he was still available. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'll give him a try. 3rd round pick. Can't go wrong.
And look what he did today. I mean, he's right.
Yeah, he killed it.
He didn't
today.
throw much. He's going to run the ball and play defense. But I mean,
basically in the forums, I was saying how bad my defense fucking played because they were awful. But then look at what I did to Quick. I fucking just destroyed his defense. It was just the 3 interceptions and a fumble that killed us in that game. So
yeah, almost any team you played in week 1, you would have beat with 37 points. So we can start at the top and work our way down. We'll get to you.
Yeah.
So Atlanta went to Houston. Houston won 38-10. Let's bring up Houston's team. Also, he picked up the 1st round pick, that wide receiver, Upshaw. Here's his guy. He played. He had 8 targets, 5 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown. Not bad. His quarterback, Witt, threw for 23 attempts, 17 completions, 271. He had 2 touchdowns, no interception.
Oh, that's right. He got Herb Upshaw.
Yes, he got Upshaw.
He dropped though. I mean, he looks good.
He did.
I just don't know if he looks 1-1 good.
No, yeah, that route running kind of took a hit, it looks to me, from what I originally saw him at. It's kind of a bummer.
His
Very
route running
similar to-
dropped, and the guy, I forgot who it was, I think picked 3. His route running dropped.
Well, I mean, here's the killer. Ben took a receiver in round 1 and cut him before week 1. I mean, didn't even wait around, just cut him. That's how bad some of these guys dropped. When Ben's doing that, when it happens to Ben, I'm worried about taking a receiver in that draft at all. I don't care where I'm picking.
Yeah, I mean, it was a late pick, but still, it's like you never see Ben drop a 1st round pick like that.
But all the wide receivers, they looked good before they were picked. But yeah, so his running game, he ran 19 times. He had 59 yards, so he wasn't good on running.
Oh shit, he killed Atlanta. Wow.
His defense was solid against Atlanta. What did Atlanta do? Let's look at their offense. So Meadows, their quarterback in Atlanta, he went 21 of 41. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions with a passing rate of 57.2. His run game was stopped. 12 carries for 43 yards. The other running back had 7 carries for 13 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, he did not run well. He usually runs better than that. So Atlanta's wide receiver looks okay, too, for where he's picked at 23. I take that at 23 any day.
Let's get him up here. His route running might fall again, too.
Yeah, I got a shitty offensive scout, so you're probably seeing him better, way better than me.
I have him at 56 possible, which means that he might be at 46 or 48.
I got him at 59 possible.
I'm seeing 57. Yeah, that's like Levon Arnold. You know, I mean, took him, I was all excited, and the route bar didn't come. I mean, he's a decent player, but, you know, he's not a 1-5 pick, and some of these guys are just not, you know, at 123, I'm not sure I'd argue with Krekowecki. You know, I mean, what do you think you're going to get there? But
yeah, I think
somebody's top 5 picks. Oof.
He's better than the guy I got at 1-4 that one year. So
my thing is, and I keep, I said this to a couple of people that I talked to outside of IHOF, and they both said the same thing. That shouldn't matter. But if I'm looking at a draft and I see 7 receivers went in the top 10 or 11 picks, I'm not drafting any receivers in round 1. None of us is Jimmy Johnson. Okay, it's just not there. You can't really think they're all going to turn out. They're just not. No. I'm done. When I see 7 out of the top 11 picks, I'm looking for another position. I don't care what he looks like. He's going to bomb. Somebody's going to bomb, and I don't want to be that guy.
I guess we all roll the dice and say, maybe this guy's going to hit. Maybe. He looks good right now. And so you say, let me just roll it, and it's worth it. Because sometimes you don't get in that position to make that pick. But you are correct, Red Zone. Sometimes you just got to pull
Look at the guy Ben took. What did you take him at 129 or?
Hold on, I'll pull him up.
131.
Yeah, okay. So I've seen Ben take receivers down that low that end up being the second or third receiver in the draft, maybe the best receiver in the draft some years. So when he's cutting that guy before week 1, I don't know, when I see 7 out of the first 11 picks of receivers, I'm like, nah, we're moving to another position. What kind of safeties are there? What kind of guards? Something.
You think this guy was going to be trade bait?
Probably.
Because he's a red flag and he's 25 years old?
Probably.
Yeah, if that route running ended up being even halfway decent, maybe. Or maybe he plays on the team. I don't know.
He looked good until preseason too.
It's funny how that works out sometimes.
I hate preseason too, man.
Kind of a Debbie Downer of a stage, isn't it?
It really is, especially since
about your team and everything's rolling along. You signed a
my linebacker didn't end up being near as good as he looked, and I always field an older team, so I always got to worry about the little drops. But yeah, I lost some secondary players this year.
And I was going to say too, like everyone gets excited because 1 or 2 draft picks takes a bump up 5 points here, 10 points there. Then you look at the rest of your team, and it's like, oh, but my entire starting defense collectively dropped down 7 points on average for each one of them. That's great.
See, that's what I hate about it. It's just
so. And I'm the same way as you, Grim.
Like, team, I just don't like.
I don't know where I sit as in age, but I got to believe that I'm one of the older teams in the league because I get guys and I don't part with them. Cohesion's a big part of my game.
I thought Clay said me and Chris were 2 of the younger teams. I don't remember.
Oh, we were talking about that the other day. So right now I've moved back up. I am now the 3rd oldest team in the league. Howie, you dropped to my previous spot at 10. So yep, you're 10th at 27 years, and I am 3rd at 28.2.
Top 10, baby.
Here we go. Oh, I'm not that far. I'm not down at the bottom. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Clay said me and Chris were at the bottom.
Yeah, you were last time, but you must have signed some veterans this year.
Have you
to
guys
up that age a bit?
But have you guys ever go into a draft and say, you know what, I got 2 good guys, I'm good, even though the other 5 are garbage? Are you fine with that? I am. But are you guys?
No.
What do you mean?
Like you go into our draft. Let's take this draft, and I came out, let's say, with 2 good guys that can really help my team. The rest are not going to help my team at all. I'm okay with that. Do you guys need to have 50% very good that can add to your team to be happy, or you're satisfied with getting 1 to 2 guys to help your team?
I am generally satisfied if my first round pick works out. And I oftentimes don't, pick in the second and third rounds because I'm looking for players that are decent that I can get that fit my scheme and my affinities with those picks. But yeah, for me, it's, you'd love to have some guys. I think I got 2 guys, 3 guys that are going to be starters on this team eventually. My first round pick and my second round pick. And then I think I got another linebacker. So, but yes, generally, if I get 1 guy and it's my first rounder, I'm pretty fucking happy with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, and I've changed the way I look at drafting success for me several times because I took a couple of first round wide receivers that I thought were going to turn out to be stud players that didn't develop or took a hit at preseason too, but their route running bars stayed kind of high 60s, low 70s. Everything else might have taken a hit, but they were effective receivers for me through their careers, and they helped win some championships. So as long as I get a player that I can find a spot for with a draft pick, I'm happy about it. You draft somebody who you're thinking is going to be a 64 wide receiver, and they drop down to a 27, and they've got no bars. That sucks. But if he drops, but his route running bar is still 65, and he can get me 70 catches a year and 7 or 8 touchdowns, and that's a win for me, I guess. But I suck at drafting, so there's that.
How about you, Rich?
I don't know, dude. You've done pretty well, Scout Howie. You've had some decent scouts for a while now.
Yeah, so. I have, and I haven't drafted. I have definitely drafted more players that have found the field than bums that I've ended up cutting kind of their third season when their cap hits not $20 million.
No, and I think the last maybe 2 or 3 seasons, maybe not as well as you were doing, because it was just 4 or 5 seasons ago. I'm just saying, holy fuck, Howie's drafting the fuck out of everything. So
yeah, and some of those I got lucky on. I got 2 defensive backs now in Mario Whalen and Tucker Flannery that were third and fourth round picks that their bars bounced up and they ended up being guys that people would be stoked to get in the first and second round. Yep. So I've gotten a little bit of luck there, and I'd rather be lucky than good, I guess.
Howie, are you a better late drafter?
I feel like I have found stud players later in the draft in certain positions. If I really start looking around the 4th and 5th round at defensive ends because I need a defensive end, I found more solid defensive ends in those rounds than I have like skill players, wide receivers, running backs. So those picks, when I'm trying to find a wide receiver, I'm trying to find a skill guy in the later rounds, I'm not very good at, but I found some solid offensive linemen, solid defensive lineman, and a linebacker here and there. So I don't fear those picks when they come up because I know I can probably find somebody that's useful.
I think that depends on what you're calling a successful pick. I mean, I took 2 guys in 6 and 7 that were defensive tackles. I moved to end. I think they'll be good pass rushers, but they're not going to be every down ends. I mean, are they complete players? No, but they'll be very good role players, I think. They're already making an impact week 1. Hurries and sacks for both of them.
And there you go.
I got a punt returner or a kick returner in round 5. My safety in round 1. Now the 2 4th-round picks, Doug and I already cut. He dropped. And King, he's an exceptional affinity, so I've kept him around. But I don't know what he's going to do. I'm giving him another year, but I don't have a lot of faith. So, it's hit or miss. But, I don't ever go into a draft saying I'll settle for only 2 players. I want them all to hit. The value of these picks, try and get them. Try and make a trade right now for picks in next year's draft. You're not going to be able to. Okay? Nobody wants to let them go. So, once you have them, you're supposed to get something out of them. I want them all to hit. I'm greedy.
Now, here's a good example.
Okay, well, there's a difference between want and need, I think is the right word for that. Sure, yeah, Bob. I want all of my draft picks to hit. Do I need it? No.
Jimmy Blake, defensive tackle on my team.
Hold on. I'll get him up. Got him.
He took a drop this year, but that's a guy that 7th rounder. He's starting for me. Like in my mind, he's a stud defensive tackle. He's big, he's heavy, he's got a great run defense bar.
Yeah, perfect size, and you're playing him with your light defensive end. So Yep, absolutely. I like him.
You
You
know
know,
what?
that's
It's funny you mentioned that, Howie, because I had a guy, but I had to drop him because he wanted more money. Picked him in the seventh round. Played for me for I think 8 seasons. Safety. I believe he got me 30 something interceptions. Let's see if I can
yep.
find him. But you are correct about that. Sometimes, let's see, unless someone picked them up. Maybe someone. Oh, here he is. There it is. Yeah,
Oh, Marvin Sims.
picked him up seventh round. Pick number 24. 33 interceptions. A pass defense of 80.
That's pretty good for a career.
And
And I was
yeah,
no. You can finish. I'm sorry.
no, and like Howie did, he's got a guy in the seventh round, but the guy fits his scheme. This guy fits my scheme. That's why he worked for me, and he did well.
Yeah.
And we got him. We got something out of players way in the deep in the draft. But sometimes we'll swing for the third rounder, and it's complete flop. They're just sitting on the bench, or you cut them. So
Did you play him at strong or did you play him at free?
free?
Okay, that's all you need. Zone defense and interception bar. Endurance is nice too, but yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we can go back to Bob for his rebuttal to what I said.
Oh, I agree with you. But I mean, for me to sit here ahead of the draft and say, well, I'll be happy if 2 out of my 5 picks hits. No, not at that point. I'm still trying to make them all hit.
Yeah, see how we need to do better.
Do better.
Don't get me wrong. I don't draft that well, but it doesn't mean I'm not trying. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not hoping.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how you guys draft. There's a guy I talk to all the time, and he swears by his draft board. So he goes through the analyzer, and he'll pull up every position, and he'll give people, well, this is a first-round grade, and this is a second-round grade, this is a third-round grade, this is a fourth-round grade. He doesn't want anybody worse than a fourth-round grade, and he figures somebody will fall to him in 5, 6, 7 from one of those other rounds. So now he's got them all separated. If it's round 1, and there's somebody left on his draft board that he said had a first-round grade, that's who he's taking. Well, if he said he's a first-round grade, then he expects him to hit.
Does
Or
he
he wouldn't
use
get first
draft
round
analyzer?
Yeah.
See, I still don't do that. I probably need to.
I mean, I'm saying, though, if you give a guy a first-round grade ahead of the draft, then you expect him to hit, or he wouldn't have a first-round grade.
See, I don't use draft analyzer as well, Grim.
I just think you can't be willing to accept 2 out of 5 or 2 out of 7 or 3 out of 7 before the draft even starts. I can't do that.
I have a question then for you then on this one. If you miss on your first round pick, however you hit on your third round pick, are you happy? Are you okay because you already missed in the first, but at least the third round pick made up for it? Are you okay
Sure.
with that?
Sure, that softens the blow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely would soften the blow.
How about you, Howie?
I think
Oh,
people,
absolutely, absolutely.
I think people do this differently, and they all look at things differently. We all do. I mean, I just had a guy send me a PM. I'm looking for a running back. Okay, week 1's over, so I can't do any extensions. All I can do is cap outs. Okay, and now here's a guy with a $21 million cap number. He wants to trade me. I'm like, we needed to do this earlier, dude. Come on. I can't do nothing now. Where were you, 4 stages ago?
So what is this shit you're talking about, the TFL? Are you running a league again?
Yeah, I took over the simming in the TFL again. They've struggled, and the commissioner that was there, he's like, he wants out. He doesn't like doing it. He doesn't think he's that good at it. I think he gave up too soon, but I put a lot of time into that league before I turned it over to Bylana. He turned it over to BG Bob, and I was like, okay, I have the time again. Why not? I'm not going to have a team. I'm just going to run their sims. I'm just going to do RZB and IHOF. I don't know if I'll take a third team or not, but I don't want a team where I'm simming. I want the integrity of the sims to be unquestioned. There's no need for me to cheat because I don't have a team, so you don't have to worry about your sims.
Yeah, no, I tried the 2 leagues, dude, and what happened to me was I started doing good over in RZB, and I started sucking here. And it's just like I just couldn't get my shit together, so finally, when my team kind of collapsed in RZB, I was like, look, I got to concentrate on one league, man. RZB is a fun league, a beautiful league, bunch of grumpy old ass men over there too. So that's always fun to watch the fights and shit.
That's why I fit right in.
Well, you ain't fighting with anybody, but yeah. So it's I just started noticing when I did good in RZB, I sucked in IHOF. When I did good in IHOF, I sucked in RZB. It's like I'm not doing this shit.
See, I can handle two, but at one point, I guess in like 2021 or early 2022, I was in 7 leagues and simming TFL.
Wow.
My mind was completely shot. Okay, I was ready to be locked up.
You do it.
I was ready to be locked up. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't show up with the white coats and take me away.
Clay, are you still in RZB?
No, I'm not. I only can concentrate on one team.
That's what I'm fucking talking about, dude.
It's hard. I tried to do the 2-team thing. It's just you kind of fade away from one and you gravitate towards one that you really like.
That's what I was talking about. You start doing well in this league, you start doing bad in this other league.
So I keep it just one team. I give it 100%, and try not to lose as best as possible. That is it.
Howie, how many you're only in 2, aren't you, Howie?
4.5.
Oh, 4. Jesus
Wait a minute.
Christ.
What's 4.5? What's the half?
How do you get the half? Oh, you're a GM.
Yeah, so IHOF's the one that I focus on the most, and then I was going to drop out of the TFL until Red Zone took it back over, and now I feel obligated to stay in it. Thanks, by the way, I hate you. And I'm in the former USFL, which is now the HFFL, and then the IFL, and I'm a co-GM in the RZB.
How's the co-GM work?
It's all right. This is our first season doing it. It's good because there have been a couple of weekends when I haven't been around. So he's been in Day D Thompson is he was around, so he simmed, and this weekend he wasn't around, so I simmed, and we're on the same page when it comes to what we want the team to be. So it's working out so far.
All right, cool. So you guys will just both do everything.
Yeah,
you're not the defensive coordinator. He's not the offensive coordinator. That type of thing.
Nope. We're talking it over through consensus. So it's working out. It's actually fun too, because then you start bouncing ideas off and concepts, and
it is a good time. I did it one season with Jug in Atlanta. He did the offense, I did the defense, and it is a really fun to be able to just talk about your team with somebody that knows it like you do. You enjoy the game a little bit more that way. I don't know. It wouldn't work with just anybody. You'd have to know that person pretty well and get along with them pretty well. But I mean, if you're not a control freak and you're willing to give the offense to one guy or the defense to one guy and work on the other, it can work. What I don't like is, let's say an IHOF. Okay, how many people are on the waiting list now? 9.
Yeah, about that.
Okay, so let's say the 8th guy on that list goes and becomes a co-GM somewhere, and then the main GM quits. What happens to that team? Does the co-GM automatically get it? Because to me, that is circumventing the waiting list.
No, I don't think Ben would do that.
That would be my concern, and I would hope he wouldn't. But that's what I would,
If Rob quits, I don't think, because Rob's got the only guy with a co-GM in this league. So if Rob quits, then the team doesn't go to that guy. Pretty sure of that. So.
Well, in IHOF.
Yeah, in IHOF.
I mean, like I said, that'd be my only concern with it. But even in that scenario, I mean, you can sit on the waiting list and twiddle your thumbs, or you can get involved and be a co-GM. Well, maybe that's the guy you want to take over anyway. So, I mean, you can argue that both sides. I'm just saying that to me, that's the gray area.
Let me ask you a question, Red Zone. When you and Jugs was doing it, you would then pick all the defensive players in the draft. He would pick all the offensive players in the draft. Is that how it works?
No, the draft we collaborated on. We would talk about who we thought was the best player available, who would help the team the most. It wasn't strictly, offense or defense, or me fighting for the defensive players and him fighting for offense. But the game planning, he took care of the offense and I took care of the defense. So I would send him the defense, or he would send me the offense, and one of us would export.
Okay.
And we do a lot of the same things offensively, When I came into IHOF, I looked at what he was doing and started to kind of drift that way. You want two running backs and a run-heavy offense and blah, 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 blah. I've gotten away from that some, and I don't think we're going to be that kind of team this year. But Atlanta was set up with two running backs and a big offensive line. They had a nice quarterback, too, but he didn't use him much. He used him more to scramble and run the ball and throw short and control the clock. But, I mean, we had a good year. We went 10-6, I think, and lost in the playoffs.
Are you guys seeing more balanced offenses right now in IHOF? I feel like I have been seeing it.
I think it depends who you look at. Go look at Melman. I did it yesterday. I got it on my phone. Let me pull it up while I'm talking here.
Melman? He's balanced.
He's balanced. Go look.
Hold on.
He led the league in rushing, but look at his passing attack. Don't let him fool you. He can throw the ball with anybody.
Oh, I know that. But he's usually more of a balanced team. Against me, I think he passed a lot against me because of we went into overtime.
Statistical breakdown for Melman. He averages per game 13 of 18 combination of short and screen passes, 6 of 10 medium, 2 of 4 deep. That's 21 of 32. 36 rushes, 9 left, 15 middle, and 12 right. That's his season last year, broken down game by game average.
I just feel
that's where I want to be, right there.
The heavy passing is not as much as I saw it before. How about you, Howie? What do you think?
No, I think most teams are balanced a little bit. You have your outliers, but it's not like everybody in every single division's throwing the ball. You've gotten to a more balanced attack. Ben's going to do what Ben's going to do and throw the ball all over the place right now. And
well, he's got a system that's been in place for how many seasons, though? I mean, new guy comes in, takes over a team, and I'm going to build an all-pass game plan. Good luck. Unless you're T-Zack and you can draft your balls off, you're not going to be able to do it because you need 4 receivers, a QB that fits that style. You have to build the line that way. You have to build a defense that can, stay on the field a long time because you're going to score a lot of points and be right up back off the field.
No, because I remember us having a show and it was brought up that there were a lot of GMs taking on T-Zack's offensive game plan.
There's been a few.
And so, but I'm not really seeing that. I'm seeing more of a balanced team.
I thought that Rode, who's helping Easy Lee, pretty sure, I don't know if it's in TFL or if it's another league. Someone told me he's all pass. I mean, all pass. But apparently Easy Lee and he haven't decided to go to that extreme yet in Rochester.
Well, I have Snapfinger up, who
he's pretty heavy pass, isn't he?
Yeah, he's heavy on pass, but he was Augusta
Bordeaux?
came to him.
Bordeaux's heavy pass too, isn't he?
Yeah, Bordeaux is heavy pass.
Harris was. Will he stay that way or not with the QB dropping? Did he drop again? I never looked.
Oh, that's true. I never looked at him either. Hold on. McDonald? Actually, he did well with him last season.
Even after he dropped. Yep.
So it didn't matter.
He threw 50 times. I don't know. Let's see. What did he do? Where's his game at?
He threw 50 times, but he had a terrible game.
I just want to see how many rushing attempts he had.
Oh.
No. 7. And 2 of them were the QB. Well, 5 of them were QBs. I guess the other guy came in. So we only had 2 running backs run with the ball. So he's still all pass. I can't do that. Have you guys tried that? Even in single player testing, have you tried to make an all pass game plan and make it work and get any results even in testing? Because I can't.
Well, that's we talked about multiple leagues, and that's kind of really what I use other leagues for is testing things and concepts that I want to bring over to the IHOF. And I've played, I don't know how many seasons with the USFL, HFFL, and I had one season where I went to the bowl with an all pass team, and multiple seasons where I'm picking in the top 10. And that's what I'm still doing now is trying to throw the ball all over the place with, different different philosophy, OC philosophies. I've tried it with the West Coast. I've tried it with the spread. I've tried it with the air dot Perkins, and it's hard.
See, I don't know how you guys test, but I want, and I got this from somebody that I speak with all the time. You get a game plan, you put it in single player, and you get a team that's similar to the team you're trying to use it with in MP, similar kind of talent, and you need to test that like 30 seasons, and have success like 90% of the time, or it's not worth using in an MP league. I can't even get to that point with an all pass. They're up and down, left and right.
It's tough. It's
They're
very
just
tough.
too consistent.
And is your interception to touchdowns 1-to-1 with all pass that you've experienced, Howie?
The year that I went to the bowl, my quarterback didn't throw him. He threw a lot of touchdowns and not a lot of interceptions. But recent years, it's been atrocious. Let me try to pull it up on my screen here.
You checked his avoid interceptions, though. That's the key.
Well, no, that is avoid interceptions.
Times a game, you better have a high avoid interception bar.
Yeah, and he doesn't. So over the course of his career, quarterback's career that I currently have, and he spent a couple seasons injured, so he's thrown 81 touchdowns and 95 interceptions.
Yeah, not good.
Not good at all. But this wasn't the quarterback. Was this the quarterback that took me to a bowl? Like, man, yeah, maybe it was.
I'm looking at an all-pass team.
Yep.
I'm looking at Meyer now. His avoid interceptions is 80.8. I should be able to throw the ball every down with him.
Absolutely. So when you did the single play red zone, was it a high interception ratio?
Not so much. I mean, 30 TDs and 22 picks would be a bad year. 35 TDs and 17 would be an okay year. A great year would be 37 TDs and 10 picks. But I mean, you're looking at a lot of things, not just the QB stats. I mean, how are the targets broken down? Are the right receivers getting the ball? How many points per game? Are you first in points per game or 31st? Are you first and third down or 31st and third down? Are you winning games?
Yeah, well, the points per game was the next question I was going to ask on you guys. Where you were averaging around 24, 21, 25, kind of.
I just get better results if I run the ball more than I throw it. All around better results.
Yep.
Can't help it. Just it happens. No matter what I do, no matter what I try. If I throw more than I run, the results are not as good.
Bob, has Myers' avoid interception always been that high?
It actually was 78 when I got him, and it dropped to 76, and now it's 80. So apparently that changes. I don't know.
Yeah, it does, because that Neil Emmons guy that I grabbed, he actually went up when his ratings went down a little.
That's
weird. It's got something to do with the different bars that he has versus his overall.
Yeah.
His overall goes up. Sometimes that's not good for him.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Emmons dropped like 5 points, and I believe he went from like 57.6 to a 61.1.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Weird stuff.
Well, and going back to talk about the all pass, something that T-Zac said on one of his, when he was either on our show or I was listening to a show he was on with Squirrel. He said that when he had who was the quarterback there, his big one
in Kansas.
Yes,
Gaines,
yeah, Hugh Gaines.
Yep.
Yes, he went in there and he created a playbook where every single receiver's strength was accentuated. So I would imagine that meant that, if a guy didn't have courage, he wasn't running him on a route where he was coming across the middle.
Or slot. Yep.
I don't do that.
So he really, really went in there and made a playbook that was very specific to his team and his players. And how many people really do that? I sit down and I try to do that, and then I get bored. I get burned out. My eyes start to bleed, and I just say, this is good enough. And
Howie, you can do it over time, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I don't have that kind of attention span, Grim. Like, I constantly want to change things up. Like, I'm surprised I've gone with the same playbook in Texas for 30 seasons.
That's pretty much what I've done. But again, I'll go in and so I got a guy now, a tight end that, let's say he doesn't have any courage. Okay, so now I just go in there and make sure the tight end plays I have are all going to the outside. So yeah, so I do that, and I know you do that. I mean.
I think we all do it to a certain extreme. To a certain extent, I think T-Zac did it to an extreme.
Oh, he did it, totally to an extreme.
But are you doing it that your playbook is already here, and then you can modify your playbook and then export for that specific game? Or are you doing a whole new playbook on the off season to what Howie's saying?
You mean game plan?
Game plan. Yeah, no, for me, my game plan stays the same, except for I adjust to who is in my lineup.
Correct.
From year to year. But I've had the same fucking people on my team for, like, my receivers have all been there for fucking 10, 12, 13 fucking years, except for Cole. But he's been there for 6, 7. So, so last year Cole got fucking injured, and I had to stick my second-year guy, Brandon Harder, up in the slot. He's got courage. He's got everything you want him to fucking be, but he's got no route running. So I just left him in there, and he could do some of the things that Cole could do, but he didn't play that fucking great. So, but yeah, I think you build your game plan on your offense for the guys you have, and same with defense. I mean, obviously, if you're a 3-4, you have to have a 3-4, roster. So,
yep, that makes it tough. Try drafting, okay? You're a 3-4 defense. You're drafting for affinities, okay? And you're looking at best fit. And you want everybody to match. So I don't want any 4-3 defensive ends. I want 3-4 fit. I don't want any 4-3 weak side linebackers. I want 3-4 linebackers. So they have to fit, they have to be an affinity, and then they have to be a player worth drafting. Good luck. It gets tough. It gets tough.
Affinity drafting is fucking hard as shit, dude.
And here's
really
the thing.
Is.
I screwed up one year. I said, okay, I'm not going to carry this to extremes. This was 2 seasons ago, I think. I don't even remember the player. There were 2 players I'm looking at. They were guards, okay? And I thought, okay, I'm going to take the better player. I'm not going to get trapped in this affinity bullshit, okay? I'm taking the better player. And the guard that was the affinity turned out to be better. I was like ready to climb a wall.
Yep.
So the only way, I agree with what Quick has said. I think I heard him say this in one of his videos. You just have to follow it and trust it. And you're either an affinity guy or you're not. And at this point, I am. I just have to be now. I put too much time in the last 2 seasons, so I am.
I'm both, dude. I just, my secondary got wrecked for affinities fucking this year, so I got to work on that again. But it's like, I'm green, fucking quick screen. Bob, you got a green secondary, don't you? Now that more people are doing affinities, it's like,
and guess what? OBX is doing green secondary too. He told me so. He's laughing about it. He thinks it's funny. I said, good luck to you, buddy.
Yep. And then you're also into. You got red defense. I'm the only other one with red defense, but now it's like, fuck. I tried to sign Richard Strong. I already bitched at you about that. I'm like, well, he's not going to be the leader now, but if my Eddie Logan guy retires, he could be the leader. And he offered him $100,000 more than me, and I pumped him up a couple $100,000 already. It's like, fuck, I didn't even think about that. Fucking Bob doing red defense. Do yellow defense, dude.
Hey, I told, who did I tell that to? Somebody said they were thinking about doing affinity. I said, you can have, Rick Vecito was chatting with him on Discord last night. He said, he'll probably sooner or later crank up the affinity charts and do some chemistry. And I said, yeah, you can have all the yellow guys.
Yeah, he knows better. When he came in, didn't he have to get rid of Mech's yellow fucking affinity bullshit that he was doing? It was weird.
Oh, I don't know.
Besides trying to win, trying to get the right players, and everyone else is trying to get that player because it fits their team as well, is one of the hardest things out there. And trying to do it with barely any money. Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. And the killer is you load your queue up in the draft utility. So you got at the top, you have the guys that are affinities that you like, that you think are going to be good, that you want to draft. In the middle, you have guys that are neither an affinity or a conflict that you're willing to settle for that you think are going to be good. And at the bottom, you have the guys you're like, okay, in a pinch, would I actually draft a conflict? And they're sitting at the bottom. Well, there's as many at the bottom as there are at the top.
Yeah,
you're normally going to end up with that middle group.
For me, when I go into a fucking draft, I will go through for first round picks their affinities. Click on every fucking single blue guy on offense, red guy on defense. And I don't even care if they're actual affinity. I don't look at the whatever they, because you don't get to see their leadership and shit anyways. You can see their birth month, but I don't pay attention to that because I've drafted so many leaders, just like my defensive tackle, that's my leader on my red right now. I got him in like the 6th round just because I picked him. And he ended up with 99 leadership and 90 personality, so it's like, but like first round, I just go and look for the affinities, but then right after that, I load up the affinities first. And if there's other good guys there, just, I can throw them in there. First round, I don't care about affinities, but I will look for them first.
Well, the killer is when you get one that's, okay, I'm looking for a red guy. Oh, here he is. Here's a red defensive end. Yeah, he's born the same month as your leader. He's not an affinity.
I would grab him.
Neither.
No, he's not. But
I would take him. I would take him too. But I'm saying it's a downer. You're like,
especially if he's cheerful, take him because of his leadership. I don't even know what determines leadership, but yeah, I take that guy in a heartbeat if it's cheerful or social.
It can make you pull your hair out, Clay. Be careful. I know that I was jagging around with you in the text that we have, telling you were surrounded because Chicago, Iowa, and Arizona are all doing it to a certain extent. They're like 15, 17 affinities. But if you get into it, I wish you luck.
I am not going down that rabbit hole. Which is funny. New Tile is now on Chicago.
Yep, I saw.
And as we know, Ike is on Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
New Tile had a good game today.
Yeah,
yes, he did.
We should probably go back to the damn games.
Yes, we should.
Squirrel.
He's still not worth the $40 million he saved me. So
when they both were picked, the earth shook in my house. The blasphemy.
Yeah, hey.
All right, gentlemen, I'm out of here. We'll see you.
All right, Howie. Have a good night.
Good night, buddy.
It was nice talking to all of you. It's been way too long. We got to do it again sooner.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All righty. See ya.
Later, bro.
All right, let's go back to the games. So Snapfinger won 19-16 against Augusta. Close game. Snapfinger, by the way, he picked up a good quarterback. I actually liked him.
Hugh Barber, 1945.
See, I liked him until didn't he drop?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
He had better bars before, actually. So,
see, his sense rush went up though.
Yeah, he had better bars before.
Medium pass and sense rush looked like they went up.
No, I had medium pass higher.
I'm just looking at the league scout. I'm seeing 58 went to 72, and I'm seeing sense rush went 79 to 87. So I don't know what my scout showed. I don't keep a record of any of that, but
yeah, you got him 19 to 42. I got him 19 to 45, Clay.
I got him 19 to 46, but he was what 16 to 50. So he dropped 4 future and went up 3 current.
Yeah, so League Scout has him at 46. I have him at 42, so he was supposed to be dropping.
I have him 1943. You're right. The League Scout has him 1946.
Yeah. So in the draft, he looked good, and I said to myself, "Good pick."
100 scramble frequency and 86 sense rush with that timing bar. Man, if that medium pass gets anywhere close to 69, he might be okay. Maybe.
Yeah. He's already got an average interception of 49.9.
Oh.
So I'm guessing he's got bars in the right places for that.
Well,
yeah, Bob, I agree with you. I think he could work out.
That could be good enough. I mean, 50 is like the sweet spot. If you get down under 40, you're in trouble. But anywhere in the mid to high 40s or 50, that's okay.
He passed. He passed very well this game.
You couldn't take him and run T-Zac's offense, but you could run.
No.
A normal, he could run your offense or my offense probably.
Well, his guy Richard, he had Richardson. Richard, out of 46 attempts, he hit him for 27, almost 400 yards passing. Yards per attempt, 8.63. One touchdown, one interception. And he spread the ball around to his two wide receivers and his tight end. Barely ran the ball. So he did more of a passing game.
Who was his QB last year?
It was Caden Banks for part of the season. Remember?
He retired.
So this is, Snap Fingers going into their second year without a Frankie Leach or without a Stan Schultz. He's had these glorious fucking quarterbacks for fucking 2 decades.
I'm glad you said that. There's something that I've been looking at and kind of watching, and it's been haunting me. When I got to Harlem, what I should have done is what I was advised to do, which is sit down, leave the team alone, and just draft. And in 4 or 5 seasons, you'll have a team worthy of taking on T-Zac. And I didn't do that. I went out and tried to make trades and sign free agents. I tried to
quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after quarterback.
And at the final end of it, I signed Meyer as a free agent, and I hired a new offensive coordinator, and I added a rookie receiver in the draft and traded for Stargell from Ben. And my cohesion was like -10. Okay. So now you're sitting there, you're saying, okay, how am I going to get my cohesion to go up? Okay. So now let me take it to the opposite extreme. Let's say that I was smart enough. Let's say I took that team over right then with bad cohesion. And I was smart enough to I'm not going to sign any free agents. I'm not going to make any trades. I'm just going to draft. I'm going to wait 4 or 5 seasons and we'll build it back up. Do you realize that if nobody else makes any trades or signs any free agents and makes any huge changes to their offensive passing game, your cohesion might get better. But if it's 31st in the league and nobody else makes drastic changes, you're still going to be 31st in the league. So my advice to people is don't do what I did.
So
don't let your cohesion ever drop that low.
So you're saying
because it's too hard to get back.
So you're saying, Red Zone, take on the team, play with the team, and when draft comes, just slowly change players out where your cohesion slightly drops, but it's not drastic until you build up your team to where you want to be.
Because when you get, I don't know, where's the cohesion at? Here, unit cohesion. Right now, passing game cohesion, I am 29th, 62. Dude, we made no changes to our offensive skill position people in the passing game from last season.
None. Are 62, yes.
None. Same quarterback, same top 4 wide receivers, same tight end. It will take me 10 seasons to get back to 80.
It's okay. I'm down there with you. I'm at
65. And 80 is still 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11th in the league, 12th in the league. You're not even top 10. I'm telling you.
All right. So you're telling me, since you're at that number, you can't have a winning team? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, that's not what I'm going to say. That's why I started to do the chemistry. These are all what they call modifiers. Okay? So there's a modifier for cohesion. There's a modifier for chemistry. There's a modifier for, 10 other dumb things, 15 other dumb things. I'm not going to list them all off. I don't remember them all. But, I mean, they're out there. They're all kind of modifiers. So what I've always been taught and what I believe is, the strength of your team matters. And all of these individual things matter. But the main thing is how many of these modifiers are leaning your way. That's going to give you an edge. So in order to offset the cohesion, I went with the chemistry. Will it work? I don't know. Maybe it will and maybe it won't. It's worth a try.
The easiest way for cohesion, though, is just to keep your wide receivers together. I mean, look where I'm sitting. I'm at 81 right now with a brand new quarterback. But my receivers have been there for 10 fucking years.
You don't think the quarterback affects it nearly as much as the receivers? Is that what you're saying?
No. Receivers affect it way fucking more. Like I said, get a couple group of guys in there that have been there for 10 years, plus a guy that's been there for 6, and then your tight end's been there for 5. Throw in a new quarterback. That's Bob. How do you think I've been doing so well with all these shitty quarterbacks I keep grabbing? Because my cohesion on my fucking my passing cohesion stays great because I have receivers there for fucking ever.
Well, this is the third season I've had that tight end and those 4 receivers. So,
yep. So you got another two to three to go.
I think I should be higher than 62, and I'm, like I said, nobody else is making big changes there either. That's why I'm not gaining.
I don't think guys get the big bonus for cohesion until they've been there for fucking 5 years. They got to at least get through their rookie contract.
Well, we'll have to see how that plays out because I'm not planning on making too many changes at all on offense. I could use a running back, but you wouldn't trade me Morrison. I couldn't get either of the top 4 rookies. Okay, 2 of which dropped, so I'm glad I didn't get them. I tried trading for like 7 different running backs. Nobody would trade one.
I should have traded you Morrison. He did great today. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
All right. So Augusta, he's going through it as well. He's got his quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah, he lost Caden Banks.
Mm-hmm. So
he's got Thomas Buckner.
He didn't do so well. He had 30 attempts, 19 completion, 165 yards. Yards per attempt, 550. His running game was not bad, 4.15 yards per carry, but he needed more out of his passing game to help him out. Because he only lost by 3, right?
Yeah, he lost a tight game, and his QB really didn't play badly or good. He just kind of was there.
Who's that Navarro kid that he's running before?
I'll put him up right now.
Ronaldo Cotter. Cotter's been his guy for the last. Did he dump again?
He dropped. His whole rec's 38 now.
Oh, jeez. Ouch. That fucking hurts.
Yeah.
That's what happened when I had Worcester. That's what happened to him. One year he just fucking hit the wall and shit dumped below fucking, I think it went from 70-something to fucking 40-something or 30-something. It's like, jeez, well, you're done. Yep,
it's funny. I tried to get Cotter last season. He wouldn't trade him.
Who did Augusta pick up in the draft? Let's go.
They got probably the best linebacker in the draft. Trey Jackson.
Okay, now he dropped.
No.
I thought the other guy was the best linebacker in the draft. What's his name? Went to
Colorado, right?
Yeah.
I think Colorado's guy was better.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. I think
Jackson dropped big time, according to League Scott, 81 to 59. He was listed on Ben's list of people that dropped the most, too, I think, on the website.
Really?
I'm pretty sure he dropped.
Who?
Jackson.
I'd take him over what I got.
The technique's only 24 current and 40 future, so if he's going to rush the passer, I wouldn't.
Well, he's not rushing the passer. Isn't he?
His own defense is nice.
He plays 4-3, so he's not rushing the passer.
Okay.
He might he might actually go up. I have him at 69, right? 56-69. League Scout has him at 54-59. So I have him 10 points higher.
So, yeah, I have him 4 higher. It's 56-63. He might go back up. You're right.
Yeah. So he might pop a little bit more.
So and I've seen that where they drop the first season and go back up to number 2.
Mm-hmm. And he's 25. I didn't even notice that, but he's 25.
That's old. That's old for a rookie.
Mm.
Yes, I agree with you, gentlemen. Colorado did draft the best linebacker, but that guy was no workout maxed bars.
Yeah, this guy was a beast. But
the one Colorado drafted is like generational. Yeah. I mean, that guy's insane. Where's he at? Barbaritz?
I pulled him up.
See, generational is if all those are full red all the way to the top. So maybe, but he's going to be great. He's going to be fucking great. And what defense does Colorado play? I want to check that quick.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he hits 82 overall, look in the league and see how many 82 linebackers there are.
Not many.
No.
None. Well, Jug says Braden Wallen. But
while you're looking, so we have the next game up. Bordeaux went to Gutenberg. Gutenberg won it 44-17. A lot of big scoring games.
Oh, so Julia. What'd you do, Julia?
He had Carlson in here. This guy here.
Wow.
Right, he went 10 of 18. 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8.39 yards per attempt.
That's 15 yards of completion. Yeah.
And then he had his running game going. Stanton went 21 attempts for 54 yards. Not a good game. However, Erickson went 10 of 75.
Oh yeah, this was the year he was able to cut the vermin that crashed on him after a huge contract. What the fuck was that guy's name again?
Wow.
And here's the receiver he picked up, by the way. Julio in the first round. Of course, he cut.
Oh, yeah, he was really
Rosenbaum.
unhappy with him. He was really unhappy with him. Hey, Grim, look at Carlson's bars and then go to the box score. He was 10 out of 15 on medium passes today. Wow.
Doesn't he have medium pass power?
No. That's what I'm saying.
He has no
And
bars.
he went down this year.
He has no bars.
How does he take those bars? I mean, looking at those bars, I would have expected if he threw 18 passes, at least 13 of them were probably short. And no, he was 10 of 15.
Oh, that was all running. I mean, he's got a solid O-line again, so...
Oh, he only played half the game. That's why. The team was 10 of 15. We don't know what Carlson was.
Well, here's the other guy.
Vernon Walters was 8 of 14.
Werner Walters has 0 bars.
I don't know how Vernon... Did Carlson get hurt? How did Vernon Walters get in the game?
Carlson went 10 of 18 for 151 yards, and then he got benched because they were so far ahead. Walters came in and went 8 of 14 for 65 yards.
Like Ben says, don't think of it as your cousin from Division 3. What did he say?
Yeah.
School. They're professional players.
He's right. The same thing I said about kickers. There's only so low of a floor. It's probably true on every position.
Pull up Gino, his wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I want to see what your guy... So how is this guy in his 5th season and not fully developed yet? I was just looking at that on the website. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's interesting. Someone mentioned that, by the way. Someone said...
He's played a lot.
Someone said if you're at a certain age and he's not developed yet, sometimes they lose the future on green bars. Have you heard of that? Someone said that. I'm not sure on one of the shows.
I guess I don't remember that, but has he ever had a fucking mentor? I swear by mentors, dude. I think they fucking help, even if it's... Well, again, Bob talked about modifiers. Every modifier you can get to fucking help you, whether it be affinities, mentors. Has this guy not had a mentor his entire career? Because at 25, 5th year in the league, he should be fully fucking developed. And he's 58% developed right now. And that's fucking weird.
He should be putting up bigger numbers, too. If that route bar was 76, he'd be fucking... he'd be doing a lot better than what he's doing. Although I don't know how much Julio throws the ball.
Yeah, and as far as rookie goes, even if that guy's 10 of 80 as a rookie on route running, they seem to play towards what their bar should be. He'd been starting and playing every fucking play and getting way more catches than that. I'd like to hear Julio's thoughts on that. What's going on with that guy?
He'll chime in on the forum, but I think he's still probably looking for his quarterback as well. You know?
I don't know. After today, maybe not.
Well, he got fucked with, what's his name? I'm going to find it. Whitman.
Yes. He took that hit. Yes.
Well, here's what I want to see.
No, not Whitman. Stanton?
Hold on.
Yeah, it was Whitman. Whitman.
This is the free agent running back I wanted, Michael Erickson. I don't understand. He signed him. Where's the contract? He signed him for 2 years at $28 million, and he gave him $7 million each year in salary and $7 million each year in bonus.
Yep.
And I offered him, I think, $25.82 million over 2 years, but the bonus was like $18 million. And he turned me down and signed with him, and I thought, well, that doesn't make sense. He took 14 in bonus instead of 18. I'm lost.
His Wants winner fucking scores 22 as well, so that doesn't make sense.
Nope. I looked at that.
I could see it if that. Yeah, I could see if that was higher.
I was pissed. That was the guy that was going to replace Newtow, and that was the guy that would have made me a little more confident in our team this year. 100 hole wreck.
Yeah, you only ran it fucking 10 times too.
Yeah, 7.5 yards a carry.
Damn. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Good. Which is
Unreal.
great because he's 29 years old and he still has a whole record of 100.
2 years, that's 29 and 30. He can walk as a free agent at the end of that contract.
Absolutely.
I would have took him, absolutely. And if I'd have known that it took another, what, $500,000 a year, another $1 million on the contract, or another $2 million, that no problem. I would have put it in there. I didn't think anybody was going to chase him because he doesn't have the receiving bars much. His endurance is only 39. I was like, this isn't going to be a guy like Thomas West last year, where Grimm come in and swooped in. He's giving him $30 million a year and $20 million of its bonus. I'm like, I don't think that's going to be an issue here. And here comes Julio.
So you gave him $9 million per season for 2 years, which gives the $18 million as the bonus. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And he did not take that.
Right.
Interesting.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either because his wants to win is.
I don't know what the exact number was as far as salary per year, but it's the first year salary plus the bonus. That's what I've always been told. Okay, so if it's what's the minimum salary on a player that's in his fifth year, like $4 million? Okay, then mine was 22, and Julio's was 21. He still should have signed.
That is a good question.
Still should have signed that. Yeah. Unless he looked over and said, "Oh, Harlem, fuck them, I ain't going up there."
Well,
maybe he looked at Gothenburg and said, "Hey, they got a lot better chance. I want to win a bowl."
Well, that's what we looked at. Wants to win. It's very low. It's at 22, so it's not that.
Well, I mean, it was something.
By the way, Julio's defense just wrecked Bordeaux's offense.
Well, I'm not surprised. Julio's one of the better defensive game planners in this league.
Yeah,
in any league probably, but in this league for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. And he's solid yellows and reds all throughout almost all the teams. So
yeah, Winning had 44 attempts, 22 completion, 243, 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. So he was all over him. And running game, 5 attempts for 32 yards on one of his running backs, 4 attempts for 18 yards on the other running back, and that's about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if Elf has the wide receivers to do that anymore. When Whitting had a couple of his really good seasons.
So this is Fisk. I have a 17 route running bar for him.
The picks came up last year. He had about the same. He threw for 500 more yards, less per attempt, 3 more TDs, but 6 more picks. I mean, his QBR dropped 11 points. So maybe it is the receiver.
Well, that's that game. Now
got a nice rookie though. Stevenson looks good. Oh, the route bar isn't 38.54. I know he wanted more than that.
On which one?
Stevenson. Where is it?
Well, that's right. Let's look at his first round pick. That's it.
Yep. Dropped 9 for the league, Scott. 6 future and 9 on the route bar.
This is the guy I was speaking of that I saw pick 1-3. His route running bar was higher in the draft, but it dropped after PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did drop. This guy can return kicks like a motherfucker, though.
Oh yeah, look at that shit. Whew.
Yeah, so you're going to pay him $24 million to return kicks?
I don't know. You're paying 15 to a
right. Well, you don't. Yeah, I was going to say you don't got a choice at this point. This kid's returning kicks because his receiving skills ain't there.
Where's Clay's team at? What's he paying his kicker now? I want to see. He's busting on a return guy. I want to see what he's paying his kicker.
I'll get my team up. Hold on for a minute. What am I paying my kicker? It's a good question.
Oh wait, this guy's working cheap, man. He doesn't know who you are.
Somebody McCormick. He's only $7.5 million, half of what Bob was saying.
Yeah,
Grim. Hey, Grim, somebody needs to call this guy and tell him Clay will pay you a lot more than that. Just negotiate harder.
No, he won't. He's learning his lesson. He's also learning about special teams.
Absolutely. I have Grim's voice in my head about special teams.
Yes, get them.
All right,
especially in the later rounds, man.
Let's go to Grimm's game. So Chesapeake goes to Williamsburg and
Ooh.
wins 45-37. It was a good game.
Dude, it was disgusting. Well, I almost turned the game off because he came down, just chunk pass, touchdown, chunk pass, touchdown, chunk pass, touchdown, chunk pass, touchdown. I mean, just his first 4 drives, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? But I also learned over the last couple seasons, like, dude, just fucking hang in there. Your defense will settle down a little bit. Your offense can get chunk plays themselves if they fucking try, So,
Well, let's look at his offense and we'll get to your team. So his guy, Tucker, he went 50 attempts, 30 completions, 418 yards, yards per attempt, 836, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Ouch. On that note, I'll be right back.
Good.
Yep.
Running game, he only carried it 16 times for 40 yards. And
That's-
his other running
that's
back
typical.
was 6 for 27. So you held it there, but he was, like you were saying, chunked because his yards per target. One of his receivers is 9.55. The other receiver is 11.63. And
Yeah,
then
and
his
look at
tight
those-
end, 10 yards per attempt. For
I mean,
target.
I know my secondary took a hit this year, but look at those receivers, Clay.
I'll take him out right now. Hold on.
They're fucking, the guys that did the best. They're pretty much garbage.
Yes, they are. Wow.
8 of 11 for 105 yards. No route running. What the fuck? Next guy? Who's this fucking chump?
Hold on. Let me get up. Let me pop them up. Let's do this. All right. So this guy here, he went 8 targets, 6 catches, 93 yards. He had like 11 point something yards per
Right.
target.
Thus proving your main shit is route running. Now, Francisco Anderson, again, a good guy, but no route running. We just got fucking carved up today, dude. But we did some carving up ourselves, too. But it's like Darren Tucker made that game fucking possible because he's got chump fucking receivers over there, and they're going to be just fine this season.
Absolutely. Look at this guy's bars, his quarterback. Very good
Yep.
pickup for him. Who did he pick up before we jump to your team in the first
Oh, yeah,
round?
yeah.
He picked up...
Where the fuck was he? Where'd he go? She's under the table.
Did he have a first round?
I thought he did.
We were talking about going yes, sir. Yes.
He fucking traded?
I don't think he had a first round.
Who do you got for the first round?
He didn't
Or
have
who
a
would he?
first
Yeah.
round.
Yeah, I don't see him in there at all.
All right. So, but we'll go to your team. Straczynski. He went for you 24 43, 461. That's a lot of yards. Yards per attempt, 10.72. That's impressive. 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a passing rating of 95.2. Your run
Yep.
game with Wes, 17 carries, 100 yards, almost 6 yards per carry. Fumbled it twice.
Yeah, he's been a fumbler on his time here, so it's irritating.
Your receivers, the first one, Kutzman, 14 yards per target. Cole, 13 yards, almost 14 as well. Your tight end at 7. So, not
Yeah,
bad.
look at Harden, dude. Look at Harden.
24, wow, yards per target.
Almost 100 yards on 3 catches. And that's what I'm using him for. He gets limited. I had to use him a little more last year, like I said earlier. But no, so like I said, I posted in the forum that my defense was awful. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, shit, Quick's defense was fucking awful outside of turnovers. I mean, dude, take 2 of those. I threw 3 interceptions and fumbled the ball. I lost 1 fumble, I think.
Well,
Take 2 of those away.
Again,
Oh, and you win the game.
Yep.
There's no doubt.
well, your passing game, you're number 1 in the league. Yards per attempt, you're number 2. Yards per catch, you're number 1. Total yards gained, almost 600 yards. You're at 584. You're number 1. Third down conversions, 53.8. Any other team you play, you're beating them. Let's look at your first round pick. Here we go, the linebacker.
Dude, I know even fucking Top that said something about my linebacker getting him so late and him being good. He went down, dude. I mean, he still has to replace Harrison Foster. He's probably got this season, maybe next season. But I'll try to get him some starts and make sure he keeps that affinity and shit, but just not what I was hoping for. He looks so much better to me. And I don't have a bad defensive scout. So, but again, maybe he'll pop. So.
Did you have him, you didn't have him starting, did you, or no?
Well, he's starting in the 2-1-2 formations, or 2 wide receiver formations. I had it starting there, but Quick starts in the 3 wide receiver formation every single game. So, hint, if you want to get some starts for your guys, Quick always starts in the 0-2-3.
Oh, your offense is deadly.
Dude, yeah, it's we do all right, man.
I would be
it's just
happy if I was you.
I hope Straczynski can fucking cut down on the interceptions and shit. But again, he's new to the team, got to learn some shit, and we came out injury free. But yeah, check out that second round guy I got, Clay.
Let me ask you something, Grim.
Yeah.
So, if I have your team right now, the first thing I'm doing after that game is pulling up the game log, seeing what passes were intercepted, and if there's any way possible, if I'm not in love with the play or if I don't think there was some other factor involved, that play's out of the game plan and something else is in there. Do you do that?
I do that.
Okay.
Not every single game. So I'll probably wait 3.
Okay.
And if Straczynski keeps throwing interceptions, I'm going to check every log interception, figure out what play that is, and if they fucking match, then I'm going to fucking remove that play and put in something else.
Okay. I wondered because that's what I would do. I mean, that might be one way you could cut down on some of the turnovers.
Yes. So, yes. No, I do that. I do pay attention to what plays are throwing interceptions and try to check it out. So.
Yeah, you had a great running game, 100 yards on 17 carries.
Oh, yeah. Did you see this? Did you see what Morrison did today, Bob?
Is he available?
7 carries, 12
I don't know,
yards.
dude. What do you give me for him? He might be available.
I'm willing to talk. What do you want?
Well, I drafted him in the second.
Yeah.
So I think I'd want a second. You're second next year, although you're going to make the playoffs. Tit for tat.
Let me look at the cap. Maybe.
All right, let me know.
I have zero confidence in my number 2 or number 3 running backs right now. If my starter gets hurt, we will be an all-pass game plan.
Yep.
There'll be no other way to do it. So, I mean, and I'm not saying that Morrison would be the number 2 necessarily, but I like having 2 that I am comfortable with, and I do not have that right now. But the guy that I just got offered in a PM, I don't have $21 million. Morrison, that's like, what's his cap cost? 2.4?
Yep.
I mean, I might be able to find that. Let me look.
Right, but watch him rip off like fucking 60 yards on fucking 8 carries tomorrow. And I'm like, nah, fuck you. I'm keeping him.
I think I would probably get back to you tonight, but,
That's great.
I don't usually wait very long.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, because, I still got Zuck. I got West. And my leader, Buchanan, can... Not Buchanan. What the fuck's his goddamn name?
Henry? No, Zuck.
No, Hector Johnstone. He's still got a little gas left in him. If I had to activate him, he could play special teams again. And
by the way, this guy in the second round, I don't like this guy. The center?
Yeah, he was. He does.
Looks
I think
terrible.
he looks better. I think he looks better on my team.
It looks terrible here.
So, no, he's just fine for me. I got him 23 of 57.
I have 22 of 57, so we're both the same.
Yeah, I'm fine with him. That's about my average center.
Oh, I thought you were going to show me a guy that's like his bar is almost touching 90s.
No, in the second round, no. No, this is a pretty bad draft for me all around. But I've got 3 players that will do some good. So
Who do you play tomorrow, by the way, Grim?
I'll play Derek. Toronto.
Okay.
That should be fucking fun.
Up next, Iowa beats Chicago 26-20, by the way. Iowa's putting together his team, and he is being competitive. Bauer went 16 of 27, 7.96 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. His running game was 11 carries, 46 yards, and 10 carries, 16 yards for the other guy, and 7 carries, 44 yards for the third running back. He's doing a 3 running back thing. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Both those running backs. So he got Giovanni Walker in the first, and Cap City got that Gardner kid. They both looked way better than that. I mean, he's still going to be useful. That route running bar is fucking great, but both of them just. I mean, what does the league scout say, Clay? I think they both fucking tanked about 10 fucking points.
So the league scout has him at 49-49. I have him at 51-54. Walker.
But he was supposed to be a 68 future?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so right there. Pull that back up, Clay.
I was offering 2 first-round picks for both of them.
Look at the one right above it. Yep. So he tanked like fucking, what is that? Almost 19 points?
And I was offering 2 first-round picks for either one of them.
Yep.
Bagging.
I think Gardner ended up better, but
not 2 first-round picks better.
No. Well, I'm super glad it didn't go through, brother.
So you dodged the bullet twice, by the way, Red Zone. Remember the time with the defensive tackle?
Yep.
Yeah, usually what happens is people protect me from myself.
Because I remember the story you told us that you were trying to reach out to, I forgot who it was,
and
you were trying to get that defensive tackle.
It was last season. Yeah.
Quicksand.
Yep.
He was in a meeting and didn't get the PM, and he had him in his queue, and his queue fired.
The FOF gods are protecting you, Bob.
They're protecting me from myself, yeah.
Let's go to Chicago.
Hey, as good as that running back looked, Gardner, that defensive tackle looked even better.
Yes.
I mean, that's it's not like I need new glasses or something,
So Chicago got the wide receiver to replace Bankston. How'd he do? Elliot Jennings is their man.
He had 8 targets, 3 catches.
Yeah, he's not Bankston.
15 yards total. Tomlinson had a bad game for him. He went 20 of 37, 217 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns. Newtile did very well for him. 15 carries, 118 yards with a touchdown.
Chicago cut his rookie wide receiver.
What?
Chicago didn't pick up a wide receiver in the first round.
Oh my God, Gerald Crane fucking tanked?
He drafted a rookie, though.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Wow. You are correct, Red Zone.
He cut him already? Wow. Did he tank?
Yes.
Ricky Pritchett. Wow. I can barely see that. What's his overall now?
19 of 32, I'm showing.
Oh, Jesus
his route running is 4 or 25.
Oh, wow.
Wait. Chicago?
Yep.
Chicago picked up a running back in the first round at pick number. Oh, and that was it. He picked him up in the second round. Sorry, take that back.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a weak side linebacker that he drafted in the first.
Yeah, you just threw me off because I had the second round because you asked me to look at the second round pick.
Yeah, Darlington dropped 2. The linebacker dropped 2.
So
my God. Oh, dude, no, Gerald Crane. Crane's been master running back. Check him out.
Well, that's who just got offered to me. I'm like,
dude,
whoa.
If you look on the site, he's just fine. He dropped, that's a massive cap. Well, you're 21.
Well, I told him, I said, dude, we just played week 1. I can't fit him under my cap now. We need to do this 3 or 4 stages ago.
No, he can't. You don't have 21 million?
No, not now.
You're right. You got 16.
I have more money than I thought I did a minute ago, but I still don't have 21. And
By the way, I like his weak side
his whole rec dropped 19 points from 79 to 60.
No, I'm talking about Chicago's linebacker. I like his linebacker.
Yeah,
I like him too, but he's not as good as he originally looked like he was going to be.
No, we're still dicking around with Crane. I can't believe he's starting Newtown. I would start Crane. Why is Newtown even running there? The comparison is
Crane. I mean, that's who shows on his roster page as his starter.
Well, yeah, that doesn't mean shit. Play him in your first play of the game, and he's the starter.
Well, Newtown had 15 carries. How many did Crane have?
11.
So they split time pretty even.
Yeah, so it was an even thing. And as for receiving, Newtown, I always liked Newtown for this. He was targeted 5 times. He caught 5 catches, 61 yards.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So he was, for me, an all-purpose running back. You can get him in the passing game or the running game.
Yep.
He just got to a point with me where he was making $40 million and couldn't average 4 yards a carry. I'm like, see ya.
And he picked up Rosella, too, from Toronto.
Yeah, but isn't he about out of gas?
I don't know.
What do you do?
1 year?
Yeah.
But he's the leading.
9 targets, 7 catches. I mean,
yep.
You could do worse, I guess.
Yeah, I think with that Elliott Jennings kid that he picked up, traded for.
3 catches, 15 yards. That's not replacing Bankston.
No, but give him a minute, and he's younger, you know.
He got him cheap, by the way.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he paid much at all.
Extremely cheap. What he got him?
86 route bar.
A second
price
or
of
third
receivers
round.
in this league.
Good for him.
I paid more than that for Stargell.
Oh, the most irritating trade for me was it was Rick getting that tight end off of Frederick for a 3rd round pick. I'm like, I didn't even know this motherfucker was up for trade. I don't think he posted anything. I think that was just Rick fucking running around trying to say, hey, I can use this guy. Fucking hey.
I love it. All right, so next up is Oakland. So against Colorado. So Jugs wins it 24-10. And Kornick making a comeback.
Well, he wasn't going to sign him. He had no intention of bringing him back. He said he's going to have a rebuilding year. And I guess he got far enough into the offseason where he's like, hey, wait a minute. I have the money, and Kornick's demands came down. He's like, hey, you know what? You're $34 million, $34.5 million instead of 58. Now maybe we can talk. And he signed him.
Yeah,
but he wasn't bringing him back. He told me several times, no.
Yeah. But no, the cohesion kicks in. I got the money. Let's fucking do it. He knows the offense.
And now, I mean, if Strickland can hold up, if he can get anything out of this Glenn Stokes.
Now, Stokes had 3 touchdowns today, so.
I mean, the two of them.
I looked at the scoreboard. I'm like, oh, Stokes. Yep.
Well, I mean, if the two of them hold up, look at his defense.
You know, he's got good power on the inside. So he has a 77 power on the inside. So he's probably getting those goal line carries, just bust it right in. Or he can go on the outside. He has speed to the outside at 92.
His big free agent pickup was at left tackle, Bill Mayer, too.
Who did he pick up in a draft?
He got Jackson. Steven Jackson.
How come I can't find? What pick is that?
122.
122.
Oh, 22.
So I think.
Oh, here it is. Got it.
So that's revised. I think Howie got the best safety. Steven Jackson might be the second best, and then Chris's guy at fucking At 12.
So I'm showing him at 34.72. League Scout has him at 31.74. So he's going to be about the same what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I got him 34.73.
So it's a good pick at 122.
Yep.
Because he'll have run defense. He'll get the zone in. Good endurance.
Yep.
Not a bad pick.
No, and the whole thing with his defense is he's had the best defense in the league as far as numbers go. You know what I'm saying? As far as ratings go. It's like, give him some fucking time to get some cohesion together, man. Now you got all these guys playing there for fucking, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years on some of the guys. It's like, they're just going to fucking meld, dude.
Well, his defense, Jug's defense took it to Diaz, the quarterback. So the quarterback of Colorado went 16 of 39, 187 yards, 3 interceptions to 1 touchdown. Yards per attempt, he had 4.79.
Oh, what did Yellup do? That was the big trade last year, wasn't it?
He's not even playing on this team.
Yellup? Yeah, he's there. Dwayne Yellup?
He didn't get past the sim.
No catches, 3 targets. And he started.
Damn. Oh, he was the big free agency pickup in 2020, so that was years ago. But we all talked about that. Joel Sellers ain't really panning out.
Wow, it looks like everybody on his defense played. Yeah. Not a good game for him. His running back carried the ball 8 times for 67 yards. The other running back carried it for 8 times for 15 yards. So
he's the one with the rookie linebacker that was the best in the draft. What did he do? Barbowitz?
So he had 4 tackles, 6 assists.
Yeah, he's trying.
Mm-hmm. Solid linebacker.
Yep.
Pick.
See, here's another argument for not making that big trade. You talk about cohesion. I realize now this is his 5th year on the team, but Yellope, if you look at his last year playing for Ben, and you add together the first 2 years playing for Colorado, Ben got almost as much out of him in 1 season as they did in 2. His first year there was terrible.
So Yellup.
So you're not you want to make that big trade. You want to get that quarterback, that wide receiver. You want to get let's supercharge this offense and let's get back in the playoffs. It doesn't normally work. Trust me. And this is a prime example.
I was getting paid a lot of money.
Yep.
A lot of money.
And that first season, he didn't even have 700 yards. And if you add that season with the next season, what is it? 1,812 yards between the 2 seasons. Ben got 1,749 in 1 season. I mean, it doesn't work like people think. You're better off keeping your picks, and you're better off signing people to ordinary contracts so your cap isn't totally screwed and spending that money evenly and building a whole roster. And I keep relearning that lesson, and I'll tell you what. Hopefully this time I won't forget it.
No, I think you get burned enough times making trades or free agency or whatever, or draft, you kind of think to yourself, okay, maybe I shouldn't go this route.
Well, I mean, I know me. I'm like a little kid with my quarterbacks. I got to have a quarterback that I'm comfortable with. If I'm not comfortable with my QB, you can forget it. We're going to be 2-14. You have to have some confidence before you start the game plan, or you're not going to do anything right.
But
when you're going from one to another, well, he's a little better. Hey, he's a little better. I can get a little better here. 4 years in a row, I think I switched, or 4 out of 5 years. It just doesn't work. You can't do it. It's the same with the receivers.
So
like, what did Grimm say? They got to be there 5 years. Get a group together and sit on them for 5 years and let the cohesion carry you.
Yes. I think at least 5 years when they start really helping.
Well, next up is Frederick went to Brooklyn. Frederick wins the game 27-17. So Peters
Oh, he's looking good, isn't he?
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. Yes, he
I
is.
gotta play him next. Wonderful.
Yeah, no, and we all thought this was going to be a crap pick, but he turned out better than we expected.
Jesus.
21 of 37, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. His running game, his running game was 9 carries, 36 yards. The other running back, 8 carries for 19 yards. Yeah, and so he only had really this guy catching, Cameron. He went 13 targets, 8 catches for 104. And
He's got Gilmore there too, and he's got a tight. Dude, he traded away a wide receiver and a tight end this year that I didn't quite get. And the one was the one that went to Rick, the tight end, for a 3rd-round pick. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I would have taken that guy.
So less is more. Make it make sense.
Who was the wide receiver that he fucking traded?
Isn't that the one that he traded to? No, I think Colorado traded to Chicago.
Yeah.
Who did anyway? Who did Frederick pick up in the draft? Here we go. Center. Strong. He looks like he's going to be a good center.
Yep. No, you're right. Frederick didn't trade a wide receiver, just a tight end. I was like, what?
And then now Brooklyn. Let's see what he did on his team. First game of the season. Jops is quarterback, Upshaw. So this is a guy he went to.
His starting quarterback was holding out, so he had to start this Archie Upshaw this game.
And he only lost by 10. Look at that. So really nothing to talk about with the quarterback. His running game was 17 carries, 62 yards. So basically he's been handcuffed because he doesn't have his quarterback.
Yeah, but Edwin Anthony doesn't look great either. He dropped another 7 or 8 points this year. But he's been there for a number of seasons, so that'll help a shit. Who's his 1st-round pick?
So what did Anthony hold out? He just reported? Yeah. Okay.
Yep, he just reported.
And who was his 1st-round pick? Brooklyn. Here we go. Right tackle. Oof, not good.
Yes.
You know, they say all the time there aren't little men running around inside this game. It's a shame because I'd really like to ask Edwin Anthony, what in the fuck are you doing holding out?
Yep. You're 36, dude. Well, he's 36. He wants more money, I guess.
Well, he's 34, but he had 28 TDs and 21 picks last year, and this is the only team that's willing to give you a starting job, and you're going to spit in their face? He's lucky he didn't get cut. I'd have probably cut his ass. What's his contract? Yep, I'd have probably cut his ass.
So this is his pick in the 1st round at pick 13. Not good.
No, and he's got the strong conflict already now, and he's going to have to start. So that strong conflict's going to fucking stay there until he gets a new fucking leader. Yeah, that's gross. That's gonna hurt the O-line, I think, a lot, especially if he has to fucking start.
How much do you think? That's a good question. So, look at your team, look at mine. They're pretty similar in terms of chemistry now. We're awful close. So you add a conflict. Let's use that example on the O-line. Is that going to change things drastically? Is it going to hurt one, or is one
all right?
Okay?
I think
one's okay, but
number one, he's not good, so you don't start him. Especially, that strong conflict will go away next season if he does not have 8 starts. So you don't start this fucking kid. You start one of your guards at right tackle, or the Lauren Stam at right tackle that's fucking sitting there, who's probably just as good, but don't give the kids the start to be a strong conflict. He will not fucking be a strong conflict if you don't give him 8 starts. Maybe get a mentor in there, maybe see if he bumps up next year and he's worth it. But yeah, I wouldn't this could be sitting on the fucking bench, as is for me. But I also wouldn't have a strong conflict on my team. So,
No.
yes, he's not
No,
strong conflict.
I won't even draft a conflict of any kind.
Well, he's $45 million to him.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a lot, but he still sits on the bench if he's going to be a detriment to the fucking team.
Where
For
is
me.
it?
yeah, you got to see that. You got to see that and pick somebody else.
Because he's 5 years, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no,
4.
4 years. Okay, so
he's a rookie.
36 million is going to cost them if you ever cut him. What I meant to say. So he has to keep him.
Yep. That's a bummer of a pick. That kid looked at, I mean, how much did he drop, Clay, on the
Let's look at that. 65. He has him down to 48. I have him at 51.
Oh, wow. So he's a conflict, and he ain't even as good as you thought he would be, and he's banging you for that kind of salary.
No, he looked a lot better in the draft. And that's a guy that was on my board because he's a blue guy. So
A lot of guys, by the way, dropped in this draft.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Makes you wonder, what the hell?
well, especially considering the year before the draft completely sucked and it really showed. Nobody really boomed in that fucking draft either.
So now next
But-
year it'll look
but it was
terrible and all boom?
Maybe. Let's hope that's the fucking cycle. Jesus Christ.
Next up is Fairbanks and Hanalei. So Hanalei loses 14 to 27 to Fairbanks. So Fairbanks. This is Rick, yes?
No,
No,
that's LB.
LB.
So he's going with that Nick. Is he going with Nick Dillon? That's the kid he drafted last year at 1-7.
So 20 completions of 35 attempts, 236, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. His running game was 24 carries, 42 yards. Terrible. Almost 2 yards per attempt.
Dylan doesn't look that bad to me.
No, he does not.
There's nothing wrong with him. I mean, is he a superstar? No. Is he a solid, middle of the road game manager quarterback you can win with a good run defense, with a good defense and running game?
Yeah,
I think.
Right now his average interception is sitting at 66.4.
Yeah,
Not bad.
there's nothing wrong with him.
No, and he started all 16 games last season too.
He's got Long here. Look at this. Long, 5 catches, 5 targets for 76 yards. His route running bar is only at 27. So he did decent for him. He threw more to his to his running back. His other wide receiver, Bronson, 9 targets, only 3 catches. Not good.
He's got to bang that medium pass bar more.
Not good at all.
48-97. I'd be throwing curls and comebacks, deep ins and deep outs all game long.
So yeah, and his rookie Dickerson, what'd he do?
Oh, I liked that guy. He was the guy I thought was going to be the best receiver. I think he dropped 2 though.
Yeah,
Maybe not as
Dickerson.
the other ones.
Okay, here's the guy.
Yeah, he did.
yeah. Clay season about what I see, man. I mean, if that running bar gets to 70, it'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But my guy's I'm showing 33 of 59 on route running. But 1 catch for 40 yards, so
The top 4 wide receivers were not that hot.
Dickerson was the one I liked, so I'd have had another dud.
And Hanalei.
I feel like Matt Millen.
Hanaley's also got the number 2 wide receiver in the pick
Yes, he did.
in the draft this year.
Here we go. Brock. He's not bad. Actually, he's much better than everybody.
With the route the route running.
Yeah, the route bar makes him better than everybody, yeah.
I have him at,
Yeah.
if he hits 87 route running. So,
Not
Malco
play,
said
but he has to get downfield to go with a route bar. He'll be fine.
Malco said this was the second best receiver in the draft.
Who was first?
So, I would probably say fucking Houston's guy. Oh God.
I'd say this guy,
all right, here we go.
based on where they look now.
There's Houston. And Houston, no, Mount Powell's wide receiver looks better.
And I would almost say, Clay, the guy that you got is second best, just according to route running. It's like everybody's route running dropped except for fucking this guy and your guy.
I'm shocked, by the way, my guy was there. And that's why I didn't trade with you, Red Zone. That I wanted to stay and make my pick.
Yeah.
I actually thought Snapfingers was going to take him, but
Well,
he didn't.
if I'd have got 10, I would have taken the guy that went, where'd he go, 11?
Mm-hmm. The running back.
I'd be crying right now, so you saved me from myself.
There
Thank
you go. I'm glad I did that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So next up, Kansas
Yeah,
goes to
you're
Arizona.
welcome.
So we went to Arizona. Always a good game when we play each other. And we were able to take it 27-24. So
In overtime too, right?
yes, it was overtime.
And you started Murray and sat Donovan.
I did. And
Dude, I got really excited because I'm like, oh shit, sweet Clay run. Go look at the box score. I'm like, oh, he started Murray. Ooh.
Donovan didn't do much for me in the preseason. I was disappointed. I was very disappointed. So Murray went 26 of 43, 342 yards. He had a yards per attempt, 7.95, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not happy with that. Running game, we had this guy Lee for 21 carries for 66
He's
yards.
like this guy Lee. I don't even know who he is. He somehow ended up on my team.
So this is a guy here. I picked him up actually at the end in free agency and put him on my team. Yeah. So
I think Murray gives you the better shot at the run because I know Donovan can scramble a bit, but that probably went down a little bit this season. But yeah, Murray can fucking run. I think, look, you said it, Clay. You looked at this shit for 2 fucking days. You stopped his fucking run and made Horner throw the ball. Horner doesn't usually throw it 37 fucking times. Now, of course, he didn't throw an interception, which he never does, but
yeah, I said to myself, I need to stop his offense. So I worked on a game plan for 2 days on that. But this is a guy I took in the first round, the wide receiver at 110. And yeah, his route running can hit 80. He'll probably maybe land at 70-something, which I'm very happy with.
yeah, you could probably take 5 targets off of McWilliams and give them to fucking Unito.
I don't know why. I don't know why McWilliams had that many targets. It should not have.
What is he, is he Japanese? Unatoa.
That's a good question.
Unitoa.
But very happy. But let's look at Arizona. So
Here's the thing I think is interesting. Pull up Ike and pull up Nolan Murray and put them side by side. You got Ike with a 36 soul score.
Hold on.
Murray's 28. You got Ike with a 12 bench and Murray's 8. You got Ike with 63 cents rush. Murray's 59. That's close. Murray actually has a better timing bar, but that's the only bar that he's better. And Ike, look at last year, 10 TDs and 14 picks, and now he's off the team. And Murray, how's that happening, Grim?
Murray won me 5. He started 8 games. He won 5 games of the 8. He had a passing rating of 96.7 last year.
I saw. I'm looking right at it. But, I mean, explain to me how. Explain to me why. I want to know. Make it make sense.
I don't know. I kind of thought Ike would retire on Kansas, and now the blasphemy has been committed, and he's on Arizona. And, you know, even Melman said it in the forum. He's like, yeah, I had to. Just now watch him retire on Arizona after they win the next bowl.
Absolutely.
That would be a fucking
that would suck, the balls, isn't it? If he gets a bowl with Arizona and couldn't get one in Kansas.
I know. Absolutely.
Well, even if it's a ring sitting on the bench, what if my only worry is what if he retires a minor instead of a fucking creationist? That's
no, he will retire as an Arizona minor.
No, it's weird. He spent a lot of time in your team. He might retire a fucking chief, but
And he wasn't
Just
playing around either. He gave him an $8 million bonus. He wanted to sign him.
yeah, just to fuck with Clay.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
I love it.
I'm sure. Me too.
No, man, thumbs up to you.
I have never been able to pull something like that off where I could fuck with somebody that hard.
I said
Yeah.
to myself, because I wanted to drop him and sign some players, because he wasn't going to sign with me because he was upset that I played Murray last season. So
Right.
he was gone next season. And I said, let me drop him. However, I know there are people out there who are going to pick him up. And cheap.
I don't know. All I know is if he retires a minor, I want his jersey to be retired too, so Memon has less numbers to fuck with or to pick from. Retire his jersey as well. Can't use that number ever again.
So Horner played for him, played very well. 26 of 37, 258, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. His running backs, I was able to hold him a little bit. 13 carries for 46 yards. The other one, 10 carries for 43 yards. Usually when he plays me, they're over 100 yards, his running backs.
Oh, yeah. He's running 180 most of the time, close to 200.
So, I had to just tighten things up and go against a juggernaut that he is with a good team. And who did he pick up in the first round, by the way?
Oh, God. He's down there. He got
this guy.
Oh, Jesus. Again, the defensive guys were there.
Yeah, he got a good guy. This guy.
I just wish I needed a defensive player. Oh, a defensive lineman, anyways, because there's some great D linemen.
There were a lot of good defensive linemen that were picked up later on that they boomed.
Yep.
So this was a good pick for him when this guy fills out. But good pick. All right, next up is Mass Lewis went to Paris, and Mass Lewis destroyed Paris 47-10. He's been putting together a good team. Wilson comes off of what was it? You had him Harlem? I mean Red Zone?
Yep.
At one point, came from OBX to Harlem to
Mass Louis.
So he was about 50% completion, so not good on completion. 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And his running game, he was 16 of 38. So I'm trying to find out, how did he destroy? Must be defense.
it was the turnovers. McDonald started throwing turnovers at the end of the game, and it was just got fucked from there.
2 pick sixes.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go over to Paris's team, who did Mass pick up in the first round, and did he even have a first-round pick?
Yeah, I don't think he had many picks at all, to be honest. I think it was like 2 for the whole draft.
He didn't have a first round, so
which is totally out of character for him.
Well, surprisingly on this draft, with the amount of talent that was in there, especially on defensive side of the ball, I think he got rid of his first rounds.
He's normally got extra picks, and he's trading them off. And I don't know what happened. He must have just traded out of the draft altogether, or had already dealt them before the draft. I don't think he only had 2 picks.
No, he had 50 first-round picks from last time. So he's got the players on his team. As you can see on defense, he just shut down Paris. McDonald passed it 50 times, but only completed 28. For 258, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But he was taken out, and his backup came in and just threw 2 picks. His run game, okay, he doesn't do a running game.
Nope.
Paris.
He's all pass.
What, Mass Lewis? Oh, no. Oh,
Paris.
well, Paris, you're talking.
What
Paris he's all pass.
I forget, Clay. I looked earlier. Did he have 7 rushing attempts and 5 were by QBs?
He had 5 altogether. Why does it say 7? It shows. Oh, he must have a running back somewhere that probably got something. So 7 total. Yes, for 25 yards.
Yeah, I'm looking at the box score.
Yeah, that screen.
One and
That's
one for 2 running backs, 2 for McDonald, and 3 for the backup QB.
There
yeah.
you go.
This screen. Clay doesn't. You know, if people suck, they don't put them on there.
Yep, because
Well, that's how it ought to be, right, Clay?
he
Yeah.
threw he threw 1,000 and something times last season. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, let's take him up. Let's bring him
Oh,
up.
we must have pissed him off.
What do you mean?
Somebody made a post about back-to-back seasons. No one's ever thrown that many passes. He says, "I'll show you. I'll throw even more."
Yeah, that was Clay that made that post about breaking his arm and shit.
Yeah, but Jug did the research. He went back and looked in the history of the league. No one's ever thrown 955 and 950 back to back.
yeah, he's still got Tevin Mays over there and Ethan Moore at tight end. So
And Waite must have said, "Hey, I'll show you. I'll throw even more. 1,020 pass attempts."
Yeah,
That's
listen.
crazy.
Even though
So
McDonald,
he's got 19. He's got 2,925 pass attempts in the last 3 seasons.
damn, dude.
even though
But-
McDonald went down, McDonald did very well. He had 48 touchdowns to 15 interceptions.
Yeah, last year was as deep. But look at that defensive end he picked up first round. I think he got the best one in the draft.
Let's
I
take
got
a
to pee quick, boys. I'll be
Good.
right back.
That's just insane.
Yeah, Chris Jameson, dude.
I got him up
I mean,
right now.
the 3,000 passing attempts in 3 years. What's he?
Be
75,
right back.
75 attempts short.
But he missed out because of someone went into overtime. Yes, he would have had the record.
Oh, I don't even know.
Someone it was Toronto.
Oh, really?
Let me get up let's see here.
Yep, Mock 1034.
I think they played, I forgot who he played, and they had to go into overtime. And that overtime gave
Rochester.
him enough.
Yep. Wow. Yeah.
But he got a Paris, that is. He got a nice defensive end.
Who did he get? Jamerson? Yeah.
Yeah, a solid defensive end. And he's 22 years old. So he's got plenty of years with this guy. He only had one hurry this game. So he didn't do much. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Good pickup. Okay, we did Texas, Outer Banks and Cap City. So Outer Banks went to Cap City. Outer Banks lost it 20-30. So Cap City took this one. And let's see here.
There's your rookie, Rondell Gardner, 2.72 yards per attempt. Wow. Where's he at?
Oh, is that the rookie? Yeah, it is the rookie. So his quarterback, Bergendahl, he went 19 of 31, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. His running back, like you just said, Gardner, 29 carries, 79 yards. And yeah, not really much going on the offense.
No.
He only
No, he's going to win his first 4 games again and then fall off the face of the earth.
Here's the thing. He had a defensive touchdown on an interception return. And he won the battle of time possession, 35-24. Average start, he was 12 yards further down the field. That makes a difference. He had 5 red zone trips. OBX only had 3. Now, OBX scored all 3, but you get in the red zone more often, you're going to normally get more points unless you never score TDs. And third downs, a little bit better. He just kind of out mudded him.
Well, yeah. Outer Banks is Haynes' quarterback, killed him. 18 of 38, 239, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, right there. His running
Yeah,
back,
but
his lead running back was his quarterback, 10 for 52 yards. His running back was 8 for 32, and the other running back 6 of 36.
yeah, Tony's going more passing now too. I mean, he passed 773 times last year, so I think he's going more that direction.
Yep.
But yeah, I think
He's going affinities too. He hasn't done it full blown yet, but he's headed there. I talked to him.
it sucks.
He's where I got that receiver I was telling you about.
Yeah, well, maybe
Bubba Coleman. At first, he didn't want to trade him. He says, "I'm keeping him. That's my future position leader." I'm like, "You kidding me? Really?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going affinities too. I see what you're doing."
Yeah, why didn't you talk him out of it?
I tried.
Well,
Then he calls. He gets back to me. He says, "Hey, are you still interested in that receiver, Bubba Coleman?" I'm like, "I don't know why. Well, why are you trading him now?" He says, "Well, one blue guy on offense isn't doing me any good. I'm going to a different color group." I said, "Okay." So we made a deal.
Yeah.
Bubba needs to start. Did Bubba start for me today? He should have.
And then you went and grabbed Mark King off of Mass Lewis too. I saw that.
Yep.
Always making the fucking plays. Knock it off, Bob. Knock it off.
Where's Outer Banks? I'm sorry. Where's Harlem? I'll bet did I forget? Yep. I didn't make sure Bubba Coleman was starting today. He still needs 3 starts to take over as a leader. That's 3 or 4 more affinities.
there you go. Well, picked up at
not necessarily. He could have the higher leadership, but less time on the team. So it might take him a couple seasons.
Well, that's up in the air. I agree with you because if you go to Ben's chart on the webpage, they have a rating there. Well, last season, my yellow running back was the position leader, and Ben's chart said that my blue fullback had a better rating, but there was a difference in leadership by 1 point.
Yes.
So
we talked about that last show, I think.
This guy's way higher in leadership and way higher in personality. So the only thing that'll keep him is experience, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen. So we'll have to see. I got to wait 3 games.
Yeah. Who's your leader right now on
Well, actually,
Mathis?
the tight end, Korpaluk or whatever his name is.
Oh, it's Spazorlik. Yeah. And he's got 71. So, but how long's he been on the team?
Well, he's only been on the team. This is his first year.
So get that other guy's to start. I bet you he takes over, dude.
I would think so. I hope so.
Anyways, back to Cap City.
Well,
But Outer Banks is doing chemistry is my point and all that. And I think he's he's headed in that direction.
Well, Outer Banks picked up a cornerback at pick 18 in the first round, Couch. So,
Yep, he was on my fucking list.
He was on mine too, but he's a little short.
Yeah, he's little. If I had other options, I wouldn't have taken him, but
does it matter, the short cornerback?
I will play.
I think so.
Yes. It says right in the help file, the taller your cornerbacks, the more they are able to block the jump passes and all that shit. But the small guys, play them in a slot all fucking day, dude. Like right now.
Here's the thing, Clay. This Couch is 5'8", okay, but he's future 70 overall. So it might not matter for him. But you give me a 5'8" guy that's 39 or 40 overall, it's going to make a goddamn difference there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think that, there are different levels of how much it's going to affect them.
Yeah, bars is bars, but this is a guy that I would play at nickel cornerback. He wouldn't be on the flanker of this split end. He'd be in the corner at all times.
Well, speaking of Harlem, Red Zone, here's your team. Rochester came to you. You beat them 23-10. Let's get your team up on this screen here. Myers went 13-27, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and Powell's very good, 25 for 93 yards. I thought it was 193 yards. It's 93 yards.
We did the little things that it took to win the game. We didn't play great. I mean, we can play better. I sat here last night, and I was looking at both game plans, the one for RZB and the one for here. And I'm looking at making changes, and I'm doing this, and I'm changing that. I'm adjusting this, and I'm adjusting that. I'm trying to my head started to hurt. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. You know what? Give me the game plan that I'm the most confident in right now from what I've been using lately, and I put it in for both teams. I checked special teams. I checked the blitz percentages on defense. I checked the position distribution to make sure we weren't going to get AI'd. I made sure the right people were in the right spots on the depth charts, and I sent the files. Fuck it. I went to bed. I was tired. And we won both games. So maybe I just need to stop fucking around with my game plans and just let them run.
It's funny. You
I mean,
said that
the
last.
the stats aren't wonderful, 13 to 27, but we won the game.
You said that last time. You have to stop fucking around with your game plan and just
I
let it
can't
go.
help myself. I can't help
And
myself.
yet you were doing it last night.
I cannot help myself.
Offensive game plan. You could definitely stop fucking around with that. Unless you like lose like a bunch and you're just terrible.
I will go after we get off this show and find out why he went 13 to 27 and try and fix it.
Well, it's because he fucking targeted. He didn't target that. I don't know.
No, he had a. He
Levon Arnold should be better. Irving Stargell caught 4 of 4. Lazowski, that shouldn't have been 3 of 9.
I cannot get him the fucking ball.
I don't
know why.
No, you're throwing it to him the most this game, but why isn't he catching the ball? He's such a good fucking tight end.
Fucking allergic to the football. I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah,
He's been there for years. Like I've harped on Bob many times. Like, throw the ball to Lazowski, man. Get it to him.
Dude, I went to West Coast because of him.
He doesn't want to catch it.
Plays in design to go to the tight end because of him. I use more of them because of him.
Yep.
I mean,
he doesn't want to catch the ball.
He just doesn't like.
He's kind of like that Kurtzman kid, that wide receiver on my fucking team. He has 2 or 3 great games a season, but the rest of the time, he just won't catch the ball.
You know who he's like? Think about this. You're gonna love this, Grim. Remember Yamashita?
Yep.
Yes.
Same fucking deal.
Yes.
Yep. He was a little low. He was a little light on the fucking route running bars, though. So.
Oh, this is frustrating. You can't get this guy the ball. Like, you got him last year. You targeted him 116 times, but only 61 times he caught it.
Last year was a goddamn good season for him. Look at the rest of his
team. 878. That's a good season for a tight end. So you
if you did that every year, I wouldn't be bitching.
You did the work fucking last year to get him the ball, and you did. That's what I expect out of a tight end.
Look at the seasons before that, Clay.
You just couldn't do shit.
What? 291 yards?
Wow.
Now, that was only 10 games, but
terrible.
Come on. He had 6 TDs last year. Hell, if he does what he did last year again this year, I'll stop complaining.
Yeah.
I won't say another word.
Nope, 800.
Go ahead, Grim.
800 to 1,200 yards for a tight end, man. That's what you fucking want.
He had yards per attempt. Average target 7.57. So
for a tight end, isn't that pretty good, Grim?
Yes, it is.
Yes. No, that's what my fucking guy Bart Farr, before he got injured last year, the season before, that's what he got: 800 some yards and 6 touchdowns.
Was he hurt the last game? He got no targets, no catches last game for you.
Oh, I don't. Let me see.
Who?
Washevsky.
No, he caught the ball.
He had a serious head injury in 2023, week 17. So, he probably didn't play much. Yep. Probably a concussion or something. I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Well, let me pull up your pick, by the way. I like him. Free safety,
I like him
yes.
too, but I thought he was going to be better than the 4th best safety in the draft. I expected him to be the 2nd best. And
brother, that's my free safety all year long.
There you go. Look,
zone
tackles,
interception,
1 interception, 87.6 pass defense. Not bad.
That's almost 90. Yeah, that's a great first game for him, man. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Are you playing him at strong, or are you playing him at free?
He's playing at free. I just didn't position change him.
Yeah, I usually don't until like their 4th season. Then I'm like, all right, I'm comfortable. You can move over.
It's like Josh Griffin and here. Let me see. I don't remember exactly. Eastman. Yeah, they're almost identical. One's 6'201", and the other one's 5'11", 200.
What's the age?
Griffin's in his 8th season, but he's much more of a run defender, so he's much more of a strong safety in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and he's a little bit bigger guy, so definitely he's strong safety.
And that was the plan, to play him at free safety. I just, at 63 overall, I'm looking at all these other guys.
Well, I
Now,
have him
the
at
league scout
six.
shows 55, and I see 63, so that to me is a good thing. But
Yeah, I have him at 62, so he's gonna do very well.
I'm not unhappy. Like I said, I expected him to be one of the guys that jumped.
Well, you never know; it can happen next season. So it's not over yet.
Yeah,
Um,
try to find yourself a mentor over there, dude.
Rochester is quarterback. Well, you shut down Rochester's quarterback. He went 18 of 44, 171 yards, one touchdown, one interception, with a passing rating of 50. His running back carried the ball 16 times for 24 yards. So your
Oh,
defense came to play.
Well, and here's the thing, and Jug's been telling me this, and he's right. Okay, I'm not arguing with him one bit. I have basically the Miami Dolphins no-name defense because there's nobody. How many players on my defense are 50 overall or better? Like even future, there's only a couple, 3, 4,
One,
5.
2, 3.
I mean, if you look at current, they're all right around 40. Very few. So I mean, we're not loaded like he is on defense, and his standards are much higher than okay. And I get that, but I'm not worried about that overall. I want the bars. So if you look at the two defensive ends I got in round 6 and 7, I'm looking at the wrong damn team here. Where's Harlem?
What's the name of the players? I'll pull them up.
Stewart and Saucier.
All right, Stewart and Saucier. Got them. Yep.
They're not going to be first team All Pro. Okay?
Nope.
They're not going to the Hall of Fame, but they have the pass rush technique, and we didn't have that last season. So we got better.
Mhm.
And the guys that they're replacing went to the bench. So now the backup is better. So again, we got better. Same thing at linebacker. You know, I got a couple of guys. One of them I think I let go, but the other one's still here. Leon Wilkerson was a starter last year at 74 tackles. He's now a backup. The backup last year was horrible. He was only playing because I needed him to get starts for affinities. So now whoever replaces him is better than him. He's better than the backup. We got better. Now, what's that going to translate to? I don't know. But if you add the chemistry in, I think we're taking the right steps.
Well, you shut down McDaniels, the running back for Rochester.
We're going to be better than we look on paper, I think. Let's put it that way.
Well, McDaniels on Rochester, he's got a solid running back. His whole recognition is 85. He's got third down running at 78. He doesn't have endurance. But still, 16 carries, only 24 yards, 1.50 yards a carry.
Okay, let me ask you this, though. And I'm not taking anything away from Easy Lee or Rochester or Road, whoever's calling the plays there. Can we do that against Arizona or Oakland?
I hope.
I don't know.
I hope
Then
Arizona.
I'll be sold. Okay. Right now, one game opening day in a division matchup. I'm happy, but I'm not willing to bank on that all season just yet. Like I said, I think we're going to be better than we look on paper, but to do what we did today every week, you might not see that.
Oh, fuck. I got to play Clay again. At your house, Clay.
See that?
Again.
That'll be a good game. That'll be a good game.
Yeah, I hope Murray rips the field up. What's his name picked up this right tackle Ford. If his run blocking hits there, nice pickup. Got him at 16.
Hey, Grim, one thing real quick. Take a look at where did he go? Right or left guard Wayne Barlow.
From where?
From my team.
Wayne Barlow?
Yep. Now, think about this in terms of chemistry. I got Wayne Barlow in return for a yellow defensive end. Same age, same draft. About the same overall. An exceptional affinity. Who went 3 for 5 today on key run blocks and didn't give up any sacks. That's where chemistry gets fun.
Interesting.
Because that yellow defensive end was doing me no good.
So are you trying to tell me that affinity will help out a little bit.
The performance, yes.
It's. I think I've been saying it for years and years. 1 to 2 games. 1 to 2 games max.
Okay,
Maybe
how many?
with someone like Quick, who's shown, he's been able to go, 12-4, 13-3, 14-2 with max affinity teams. Maybe 3 games extra off the affinities, but 1 to 2 games max. But that's oftentimes enough.
Okay, but how many players, Grim, will play a little better because of it?
Well, everyone that's affinity is going to play a little bit better. I'm just saying
Yep.
it equates to 1 to 2 extra wins a season for me, in my experience.
You've got
And then
Calvin.
maybe someone like someone like Quick, who's got 44 affinities on his team out of 53 players. You get an extra win off of that, maybe 3, maybe 4. But again, I'm not trying to convince anybody to not be affinities. They're a huge deal to me. They have been. I try to do them. I can't always do them.
They're also a pain in the ass.
They're a pain in the ass. But again, 1 to 2 fucking wins a season, I think I'm getting out of my affinities over the last 20 seasons. I used to be better at it. I'm trying just to get big red bars now. Like my first round picks, I try to line up affinities or blue guys or whatever color I am. And then, but if it comes down to it, it's my pick. It's like, if some of those guys are gone, I'm looking at other players. So, but yes, 1 to 2 wins. How many people could that help out? But then now we want to convince like all 32 players in the league to go affinities when you got someone like Ben who doesn't give a fuck about him and wins bowl after bowl after bowl after bowl. I mean, they don't matter, but to me they matter. So,
Okay, Fort Wayne, San Antonio. San Antonio goes to Fort Wayne, loses 28-13. Fort Wayne has Reich.
Tell you what, he's not playing bad. Look at his last 6 games.
He's not
5
playing
last
bad at
year
all.
and 1 this year. I mean,
He was 12 of 17, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. He doesn't need to pass a lot. I think
No.
you said this, Grim, and he's got the running game of 26 carries, 112 yards.
yeah,
15
no,
Yeah,
that's why I got Straczynski off of Fort Wayne for a 3rd round, because he liked this fucking guy.
yep.
I-
And
Chris-
right now he looks like a genius because this guy's winning games for him.
but
Yep.
that's what he did his first year. Then he switched his game plan to passing, and that's when he started failing. And now he's going back to where he did well, was his running game now.
This guy's 4-2 as a starter.
Yep. Oh, you got him next too, and you're at his place, Clay. Yeah, I told Chris to fucking jump on it. He's like, oh, maybe if I jump on it all, I'll just come in and say Emmerling sucks, which he's been saying for the last 3 seasons.
Why does he keep him?
I don't know. He just re-signed him too.
We'll get to his team. I'm going to bring up what's his name's first round pick. So here's this guy, his defensive end. Nice pick.
Yeah, both him and his brother fucking grabbed great defensive ends.
That's because everyone went after the wide receivers.
True.
Good pick, Slam. Good pick. It's going to be.
He's
solid.
He's a 4-3 over. So this guy, I'd probably be playing that left defensive end, because it's like the under your heavy guys on the right side, the over your heavy guys on the left. Wait, it's the other way around.
I'd leave him. I'd have him at left end just to stop the run.
No, on an over, he's right end. On an over, the right side is the light side. And I hated that. I had to play 4-3 over for a number of seasons, and I've always played 4-3 under. So
I always put that left defensive end got to be my run stopper because people run more right than left. Just happens. Game after game after game, team after team after team.
yeah, I go by weight.
I don't blame C-Max for being upset. What is it? 19 of 34, 249, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. And his running was 17 carries for 51 yards. This is the 4th season for Emmerling.
I'll tell you what, Grim. Wouldn't matter because the other guy's got a great run defense for it too. Mucci. He can put either one on either side he wants. They're about the same weight.
And here's his
Well,
first
actually,
round pick.
Mucci's a lot heavier.
No, he's got two. Grab his second round guy too, Clay. He fucking picked up a decade plus of secondary backfield.
Wow.
Look at this guy.
How did he get by?
Who?
Manson. He picked him up in the second round at pick 11 in the second round.
Who are we talking about? Not Fort Wayne, San Antonio.
San
No,
Antonio.
we're looking at San Antonio. He's got 3 years before you can't pass on this guy anymore. So long as he keeps a couple good cornerbacks. But I mean, look at that shit.
Now, would he put Dennis as a cornerback instead of a safety?
No, these are safeties.
Because he has man-to-man.
And a 4.38 40. You know what? I wouldn't change him, but you can play him out of position if you need to. If somebody gets hurt, if you got a team with
Yeah. You can absolutely do that. I mean, like Alfred
Move him
Manson
around.
can play your nickel back. He's got no man-to-man. But Chris is playing 3-4 over there and mostly, I think, a bunch of cover 2. I don't think he plays a lot of press because he doesn't have a lot of press guys right now. So these guys, again, I thought I had the 2, and I still got the 2. Johnny Hope tanked like fucking my strong safety tanked like 12 points this season. That fucking sucked, and they still required the same amount of money that he was asking for to begin with. But those 2 safeties are going to fucking kick ass and build this
Manson's
defense
a red
for the
flag,
next
right?
fucking 10 years. What's that?
You know, Manson's a red flag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'd rather have it on a defensive player than an offensive one.
Yeah. They can get nasty, probably create a couple extra penalties, but if he's a free safety, I mean, he's got to be, free flowing, free going. He's like, all I got to do is fucking play zone and intercept balls. I shouldn't be causing problems back here for anybody because he's back there by himself all the time. So,
Unless he meets teams that are running.
yeah, tiny human syndrome. I mean, a conflict on your line, your offensive line, where they play close to each other versus a conflict on a guy that doesn't play. I mean, I'm sure that's not in the game, but it'd be neat if it was. This guy he's out in center field all the time. No one talks to him. No one does anything. He can be all the red flag he wants to. All he got to do is play.
That's probably part of why he lasted to run too, though.
Yeah.
Now we got Toronto going to North Plainfield. Toronto wins it 28-24. Close game. Mock still doing it. 49. Well, it's 31 of 49, 360 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Running game was non-existent, as we know. But very good game. Who did he pick up? Toronto.
He got
The defensive end.
Edwin Blades doesn't look
No,
nearly as good as he did.
he played him. He had 2 tackles, 1 block, pass. So yeah.
I still talk with Derek. I mean,
His second
You
round
think-
pick looks pretty good.
he thanked me for helping him in the draft, telling him that he's on the clock. He's working a fucking lot again. So, and I think he's going to be mostly fucked when Mock retires, but we'll see.
And North Plainfield. Let's bring them up. Oh, Banks is on them? Oh, no, it's not the same Banks. Yeah, so he went 29-43, 278, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. His running game was 18 carries for 60 yards. The other guy ran for 9 carries for 29, and the last running back 5 carries for 31. So he has a 3-back set going on. This is Rick, yes?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's Rick, and he's going to be just fucking fine.
Mm-hmm. And who
Just
did
got to
Rick
figure
get in
out the
first
game plan.
round?
He got that right tackle that didn't really look all that great. Rick Langley. Andy Langley.
No,
Sorry.
that's not him.
Andy Langley. Whoever that guy was looked good. That was Fort Wayne. So you see him a little bit better than I do. I think for what Rick's going to do is he'll get his run blocking guys.
It's got a conflict too with his
And just-
guy.
His run block dropped 14 points. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
As a conflict too.
yeah, mild conflict with
Yeah.
CJ.
with Bautista, his center, who's pretty good.
Yeah. He's 31. He might be off the team here in a couple of years, but
Yeah, Rick was saying that not bad roster. He likes the roster. Little
yeah, just a couple holes to fill. But like that fucking Brandon Phillip, well, he went down a little bit after the trade. He got him for a third, so I was irritated about that. But
he's in good shape.
yep, the route running's still 75. So
Mhm.
no, I think that was an excellent trade. But again, I was just like pissed off. I'm like, are guys just up for trade that you don't even know are up for trade? You just go after them. I don't know why this guy was traded off of Frederick. He would have had two great tight ends.
Maybe he couldn't get both of them to work, and so he said to himself, "It's better just to get rid of this guy, save some cap, and
I don't know,
get a
dude.
draft."
Even with that run blocking skill for Brandon Phillips, if you're not going to throw to him, he's a tight end too. Run the ball behind him. He's helping with that blocking skill.
Wait, he traded him? He couldn't have traded him. He's paying him. He
He got
renegotiated.
he got him from Frederick.
Renegotiated him. Okay.
Renegotiated. So yeah, he got him from Frederick. Would love to have that guy on my team, dude. He'd be getting the ball fucking 130 times a fucking season.
Well, he just showed you. Sometimes you got to go to all these GMs and say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yep.
With this
Oh
guy
yeah,
on the team?"
if you're looking for something, you got to get on every team and see who has something and take a shot at something.
You
You
never
have
know.
to. You can't just make a post on the forum like a couple people I know. Oh, I need a corner. Anybody got one? Let me know.
No one's coming after you with that. Go after.
No one's doing your
I
work.
understand
for you.
that.
Get in there and do some research.
Yeah, two of my good players. One was a wide receiver and the quarterback Ike.
I mean, to
Went
be
looking
fair, I
for
did the same thing with the running back. So I guess shoot me.
Well, sometimes people don't want to give up the running back, so.
So last game is Tucker went to Orlando. Tucker wins it 29-24. Another good game. Yeah, Brady didn't have such a good game. He was 29 of 60. 357. He had a yards per attempt, 5.95, one touchdown, no interceptions, and of course there was no running game there. And who did he pick? Oh yeah, he
Dumped the wide receiver. Who did Orlando get?
he dumped the wide receiver. And in Orlando,
Got Kent Emerson, wide receiver. Yeah, he's probably a punt returner.
yeah, I think he mentioned that in the forum.
Surprisingly, fucking Top switched offensive coordinators once again.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's bad.
I don't know. I ended up with his, I think, from last season, and I didn't want him. Yep. Offensive coordinator last season. He should be okay because he's young, but yeah, he went the spread, and now he's back to balanced. But how's the play?
I'll chase a scout rating. Okay, I've been known to do that. So I mean, if that's what it takes, you got to bounce, a couple years in a row, 2-3 years in a row. But at some point, if you're changing from spread to West Coast to balance to
Right, but the guy he got was worse in scouting, but better in play calling. He's almost 97 play calling. But again, you switched.
that bar doesn't make any difference to me. I
You
don't know why
switched-
people chase that.
You switched coordinators. Now you have to build a whole new playbook.
Yep.
Yep.
Or
So
better have a
everything's
book.
solid.
I've got a book sitting here somewhere where 90% of the plays in it, the pass plays, and almost every running play. is either best fit to one thing and solid to everything else. You can set it up, but I still think if you change the style, your team's starting over on offense. I think that has to affect your cohesion somehow too.
I don't know if it affects cohesion, but I want best fit for 95% of my plays.
Well, that's what I have now.
I understand. Yeah, I understand playing spread. I'm going to have like some run plays that are just going to be solid, and maybe a couple pass plays out of the 2-1-2 and the 1-2-2 and a couple of those weird formations that are solid. Dude, 95% got to be best fit.
I've got 100 plays out of 140 that are West Coast best fit. Yeah, best fit.
Nice.
He played fine. His Poffenrot, his quarterback, 26 of 41.
You've got to give him credit. He's another one that I went and looked. Remember when I told you the stats on Melman?
Yes.
Here we go. To Orlando, 15 of 20 short and screen per game average. 7 of 12 medium per game average. 2 of 4 deep. That's 24 of 36. Same thing, 30 rushes, 5, 16, and 9. I mean, he's as close to Melman as probably anybody in IHOF is.
Right, except he has to play in Ben's division. I think top, if he was not in that division, he would be ruling divisions. I mean, right after this game, he's the number 2 offense in the league.
He's a lot better than I thought he was. Let me put it that way.
Still solid, and there's no.
Look at the quarterback he's doing it with.
Yep, and look at the wide receivers he's doing it with. I mean,
his running back Mathis, 22 carries, 115 yards, 5 yards per carry. Very nice.
Yeah, and he's a rookie that was drafted 724.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Where's he at? Orlando.
Look at that. That's how do you do that?
Poffenrot isn't bad.
No, we're talking about
uber stud though.
We're talking about Mathis, that running back. How do you do that, Bob?
There you go, red zone.
Looking at that screen. Poffenrot is fine. He's been fine.
I don't have any idea how you do that. With a 39-52 hole wreck bar?
But look at his O-line.
What's his offensive line look like?
Yeah, McGee, Booker's 80 rated, Xavier Swift 60 rated. Yeah.
Fuck, I could run behind that line.
Yep. You could. I could probably get 3 yards to carry behind that line.
Right.
Maybe 2.5.
I might not last more than a game or two, but hey, I get to pay for the rest of the year while I was on IR, right?
Yeah. I wish I would have thought of that like 20 years ago, dude, when I was like a svelte 6 foot 220. I could have been a strong safety.
Well, there you go, folks. You get a good line, and you can have a running back like him.
Yep.
But he's got a good defense too. So you can't. I mean, his safeties are outrageous.
Yep.
He's got great cornerbacks, and that Amir Quinn he drafted last year is going to be 72.
Who's this linebacker, Raffensperger?
No, I like to get top on sometime, man. He seems like a fucking pleasant fellow in the fucking forums. You know, he's always LOLing and saying some fucking shit, and it's good stuff. And he builds a great fucking team. And he's just stuck in that fucking division.
Well, I mean, you've got Sawblade and Ben every year.
Yeah.
And Snapfinger's not always easy either.
Nope.
I mean, he's had some years where he competed. And he's paying more attention. He's trying harder. I mean, he may not be Ben, but he's not easy to beat. You better be ready or he'll knock you off. So, I mean,
it's bad enough being in Quick's division with threats from other players every year. So
let's look at the injury report, by the way. Anything bad going on?
Yeah, any big injuries?
Let's put it for full strength. So,
tell you the big ones. I gotta go look at the 4. Ben always posts the big injuries.
Well, we got 5 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah, but who are they? Are they any good?
Okay. Let's see.
Just 5 weeks?
Yeah,
right suck, I don't care.
Riley from
there's like
Gutenberg.
There's like 4 on injuries of notes for Ben. So that's Noah Crawford from Paris. And then Winston Buckner, that's going to kill fucking Elf. He's got a concussion. Winston Buckner's been a fucking great fucking player for a lot of years. And Dalton Edward is on the list of Ben's for concussion for Chesapeake.
Yeah, concussions are bad, but also the hamstring one are awful.
Yep.
Nobody's hurt for Frederick, so that doesn't help me none.
And then your guy, Bryce Sweeney, Clay, is on the injuries of note.
He was on the injury from last season, so
that he's kind of a guy that would be playing for you. 6'2", 194, playing cornerback. Damn.
I put him on injury reserve, so I won't see him until next season.
Yep.
So there were about 4 to 5 major injuries. Let me see. I take that back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, but there's some hit, like Ronaldo Wilson having a cold. That's not going to help him next week. Zachary McDonald with a broken finger when he throws the ball fucking 70 times a game. That's not going to fucking help.
How do you know it's not on his left hand?
Well, I guess it doesn't say.
Yeah, it does say it. If you click on it, it tells you left or right hand.
Where?
No, it doesn't.
Small print.
No, it doesn't.
You lie. You lie, sir.
Come on. That ain't
Come
even
on,
believable.
I know, and you guys are looking for it.
No, I wasn't looking for shit. I knew that was. I
wasn't
knew that
doing
didn't
it.
exist.
You were going to have to show that on your screen.
You a damn fool.
All right, I know somebody that said something. I'm not going to name any names, but this guy says that he's actually come out and said this to 2 people, me and somebody else I know, that a hurry is not always an incompletion. And we're both like, hey, dude.
That's a lie.
Yes, it fucking is.
The one thing that I don't get in this game, I might have said it before. I don't think I have, but it's always in the back of my mind. If my quarterback runs for -2 yards, isn't that a sack?
Yes, it should be. But I think since you're running,
not if he leaves the pocket. If he's outside the hash, or I forget how the wording is, but once he becomes a running back and leaves that pocket, no.
No, but in real football, if you run out of the pocket, you get sacked. I mean, you get tackled. That's a sack.
Not if you run around left tackle and get tackled for a 2-yard loss. That's not a sack.
No, sis.
Really?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you
see, that's my confusion. I thought any time a quarterback got sacked behind the line of scrimmage, whether you run outside of the pocket or not, that's a fucking sack.
That's a sack.
But I have quarterbacks that run for -2 yards all the time, and it's not a sack.
In the game, it should be a sack. If a quarterback in real NFL runs outside the pocket, is behind the line of scrimmage, and gets tackled, it's a sack.
Yes, and that's what I suspect. But Bob says otherwise. If you get outside of the box, that's not a sack.
Hold on.
He's looking up NFL rules, but this isn't the NFL, although we want it to be.
What I always want to know, but I always have a speculation, but it's not
Wait
true.
a minute.
Hold on.
I stand corrected.
Wait a minute.
In American football, a sack occurs when a defensive player tackles the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage before the quarterback can throw a forward pass or hand off the ball to a running back. A sack also occurs if the passer runs out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage following defensive pressure. Sacks result in a loss of down and yardage. Sacks are most likely to occur during a blitz when the defense sends extra players to rush the quarterback.
Yes.
Now, I would have argued that point because if a QB takes off, say Josh Allen takes off and tries to run around left end on a planned run, isn't he a runner now? And if he gets tackled for a 1-yard loss, 2 yards from the sideline, 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage, that's not the pocket. You're not a passer there. How's that a sack? But apparently, according to this, it is.
Yeah, so like all those guys that tackle your quarterback for -2 loss when he runs, they should be getting sack critics.
Correct.
Well,
but there is something I wanted to bring up, and I brought up a while back, and it's the knockdowns and the stats. And I said to myself, can knockdowns on a quarterback during a game affect their play as the game goes on? Is that modeled in his game, in Jim's FOF? Because why have that there then?
And I remember you talking about that fucking many shows ago, like 3 seasons ago or so, and I don't think we came to a consensus of with it, or whether or not it matters or not.
Does it deteriorate the quarterback's play for that game the more you knock down the quarterback? Because I'm saying to myself, why do you have knockdown in the stats if it means nothing? Is it just for show, for candy?
No, it's got to matter a little bit. I would imagine if you're knocked down 12 times in the game, by the end of that, you're going to be more injury prone or.
I think any kind of pressure on the QB is going to eventually affect them.
Wear them out, yeah.
Okay, I got one for you, Clay.
What's that?
This happened to me in RZB recently, like 2 or 3 sims ago. So we get to the trade deadline, and I've got, I don't know, I'm just going to throw rough numbers out here, somewhere around $2 million in cap room, and I make a trade for a wide receiver. And that receiver's contract, his salary for the whole season is $10.28 million. But if you go to contract view and you pull up save if release, that is the prorated figure that it's going to cost that team to trade or cut him at that point because they've already paid 8 games of his salary.
Correct.
So that is also the amount that I should have to pick up when I trade for that player. It is not how it works. And we did this 17 different ways, and we spent an hour and a half on it, Easy Lee and myself. And I got news for you. Well, an hour and a half is a stretch, but we talked about it for quite a while. I got charged his entire salary.
Yep.
So this is a programming error on Jim's end. And it's very simple. He put the wrong box in the code. Instead of looking at this box with this number, it's looking at that box with that number. And every time you make a trade for a player, you are paying their entire salary for that year, no matter when you trade for them.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's there.
And I did not know that. I thought so. I was worried about it enough to ask. And Easy Lee said, you know what? Since you're that close, when I get home, I'll pull the game up and I'll plug some stuff in and we'll see where your cap is before you make the trade so we know whether it's going to go through or not. Because it was a trade deadline. It's either going through or it's not. If it doesn't, I'm fucked. Okay? So he was nice enough to give me a look at it. And he couldn't figure it out. He's like, I don't understand. It's showing you over the cap. And I took the number that it showed me over the cap and added it to the number that I had after I cut players where my cap should have been after the trade. And when you add those two numbers together and add it to that prorated number, it comes out to the whole season salary.
Are you also
to the dollar?
Were you also getting charged the bonus too?
No,
just the salary.
Salary.
Okay.
But all 16 weeks of it.
Even though you were picking them up on the 8th week.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how that works. It shouldn't work that way, but I've known that's the way it works for a while. Anyways, boys, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, so let me end it here.